we will continue with the West Asia. Okay. So that day, the thing is, on Monday we had class. No students, lot of students complained that regarding this doubt session, question and answer session. Okay. So people were asking some questions. See, there is nothing called correct question, wrong question, but there is something called right question. Is that the right question means in an appropriate time you have to ask that appropriate question. Okay. See, the point is, while we are discussing something, people are asking some other questions, which is not relevant to the discussion. So like that. Okay. So we have to rationalize the question and answer session because a lot of questions are being asked. General questions will be answered during some other time. So what we are discussing today regarding that, you can ask the questions. Okay. So anyway, today what we are going to do is we are not going to have any question and answer session in between the class. At the end of the class, only question and answer session will be there. Because a lot of students are waiting, people are asking questions. Okay, so all questions just during the class, if you have any doubt, just mark it down. Okay, at the end of the class you can post question, I am ready to answer. Okay, and that day some students missed this particular class, and the recording was also not available because this is new. Okay, because earlier and all we used to do this in the institute itself. Okay, so because of the complete lockdown in Chennai, so I am doing it from my home. Okay, so I did not properly record that particular session. So again, we will recap what we have discussed in the last class and then continue with the today's class. Okay, so 15 minutes, just 10 to 15 minutes, we will recap what we discussed on Monday. Okay, so on Monday we started with Iraq. So in Iraq, already we know that Iraq is a country where multiple ethnicity people are there. See, already in the past class, I have shown that Iraq is a Shia-dominated country. Shia-dominated country. Okay, but Sunni Muslim population is also there. Kurdish population is Kurds are also there. Who are these Kurdish people? Kurdish people are the non-Arab Sunni Muslim population. This is Sunni Muslim population. These people are also Sunni Muslims, but this is Sunni Arab people. In that Arab League, I have shown one particular map. No, so those people are called Arabis. So Kurdish people are non-Arabis. That you have to be clear. Okay, and you have to note that from 1920 to 32, it was under British regime. So that also we have discussed. Okay, so after the fall of the Ottoman Empire, the Iraq part went under the control of British Empire. So that we have discussed. Okay, and after that, the important event in Iraq, what we have to know is in 1968, a Sunni-based Baath party. Sunni Muslims are minorities in Iraq. They took over control of Iraq. Okay, so they are in any country, if minorities are ruling a country, means obviously it will be a military rule. See, because the majority people will never accept a minority rule in their country. So if minority have to hold their power, means they will use their military. Very simple. They will use some kind of force or what do you say? Some power only to put to crush the majority population and maintain that particular. And in 1979, Saddam Hussein, he became the president of Iraq. So the point is, in 1979, Iraq is having a Saddam Hussein as their president. Saddam Hussein belonged to Sunni Muslim. So since he belonged to Sunni Muslim, all the Sunni Muslim people, they will support Saddam Hussein. So Saddam Hussein gave all the privilege of the country, whether it is political, economic, or status, whatever it is. Only the Sunni Muslims, who are the second minority in the second biggest group in Iraq, enjoyed all the privileges in Iraq. Okay, so they were in power, all the money, business, etc., everything went under the control of Sunni Muslim. That means during Saddam Hussein's regime, the Shia Muslim suffered, and the Kurdish population also suffered. So these two people doesn't like Saddam Hussein. So this is the point. So this was the situation in Iraq, 1979. Okay, and then you see, during the same time, you have to note that 1 minute. During the same time, you have to note that in Iran, the neighboring country Iran, there was a big political event happened. So that political event, you have to note that, see, we will discuss while we discuss Iran, but anyway, I will tell you the brief. In 1979, from 1950s, Iran was under the control of a pro-Western leader. His name is Shah. Okay, so Shah is getting help from England, France, and US. With the help of them only, he was able to maintain rule in Iran. Okay, but what happened is in 1979, so in return for the help provided by the Western countries, the Shah, what he did is he gave all the oil field lease to the Western country. So Western country exploited Iran. The people of Iran suffered. So one day what happened is in 1979, all the people of Iran, they all came together. See, what is common in Iran? Shia is the common thing in Iran because Iran is a Shia dominated country. So Iran, the Iranian population, they overthrown that Shah and they installed a Shia-based Islamic government there in Iran. So Iran no more is a secular country. Iran has now become the government and state has become a Shia state. Okay. So as a result of this political revolution, it was also a lot of changes were there in Iran, and as a part of this, there was a cultural revolution was also there in Iran. So as a part of cultural revolution, the Islamic leader, the Shia leader of Iran, he gave an ultimatum that wherever in the world where there is Shia population is there, see, no questions. Okay, so please, if you raise the hands, means I am not going to answer. Okay. See what Srinivasan wants. See, see if I am, see 1 minute. See, again, I am making it clear. 1 minute. This is the last question. Here afterwards, I am not going to ask any questions. Yes, Srinivasan? Yes? Hello? Srinivasan, is there any question? Okay, fine. Okay, so I am not going to answer any question until the end of the class. Okay, because you people are blocking, some people are not comfortable with that. That's the reason. I am okay with anything. Okay, some people are not comfortable with that. Okay. See, again, he is raising the question. So what, Srinivasan, what do you want? What is the question? Okay. Okay, we'll continue the class. Okay, so all the questions, if you have any question, just mark it down. At the end of the class, we will discuss. Okay, so allow me to continue the session. Okay, so I have to complete this in 2 classes. This is the 3rd class. I think it will take 1 more class, I think. Anyway, we'll see. So in Iran, there was a political revolution followed by a cultural revolution. In the cultural revolution, the Iranian leader said that wherever Shia population is there, the country should be ruled by a Shia ruler. So this directly threatened the authority of Saddam Hussein. Because in Saddam Hussein is the ruler of Iraq. In Iraq, who is the majority community? Shia is the majority community, but a minority Sunni ruler is ruling the country. So as a result, what happened? This is the reason. As a result of this, Iran-Iraq was fought. Okay, 1980. This is the starting. This is the main reason. Okay, the war is regarding some territorial dispute, but the problem is the Shia-Sunni problem. But ultimately, what happened is during this particular war, all the Western countries, they supported Saddam Hussein. That you have to know. Because they don't like Iran. Iran has overthrown the Western sponsored leader. So Saddam Hussein got the support from Western countries. So this you have to know. Okay. Then suppose you see this map. Suppose Iraq might have been divided based upon this this group based means this ethnic lines means you have to note that this part of Iraq have the Shia population. The area which is near to Saudi Arabia, we have Sunni Muslim population because Saudi Arabia is the leader of the Sunni. Iran, we have Shia population. This is Kurdish population. So for simplicity's sake, now we will leave Kurdish discussion. Okay. So we will just see what is the problem between Saudi, Iran, Shia, Sunni, this Iraq, Syria. This we will discuss first, and then later we will handle this Kurdish population. Okay. So this is so now under Saddam Hussein's regime, you have to note that it is the Sunni Muslims who are in power there. Okay, so all the privileges were enjoyed by Sunni Muslims, and Iraq had the support of that means the Saddam Hussein had the support of Western countries to fight against Iran. So this was the position. So, but what happened is during this particular war, when a country is in war with other country, that is the best time for the separatist groups to separate that particular country and become independent. So then the northern Kurdish population, they revolted against Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein crushed the revolt. Very simple. And note that this Kurdish population are very, very influential with the Western countries. So Western countries, because Saddam Hussein killed this Kurdish population, Western countries stopped supporting Saddam Hussein. So Saddam Hussein is now alone. Okay, so now Saddam Hussein, the Sunni Muslim ruler, is fighting against Iran. Western country, earlier they were supporting, but now later they dropped supporting Saddam Hussein. So now it was a direct war between Iran and Iraq, and nearly fought for many years, and finally the war came to an end. Okay, so that is not important. And then again after that war in 1990, again Saddam Hussein is a strong man in Iraq. What he did is he invaded Kuwait, the neighboring country. So Kuwait is a small country. It is like a city like Chennai only. So not bigger than Chennai, but it is very rich in resources. So ultimately what happened is, in Kuwait, you have to note that because of the oil resources, Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait and wanted to exploit the oil. So immediately US, using United Nations Security Council, came to Kuwait, and UN army drove away Iraqi forces out of Kuwait. So US, on behalf of United Nations Security Council, liberated Kuwait. Okay, so now Saddam Hussein is fighting against United Nations itself, which is led by US. So now Saddam Hussein is very busy in that war. So during this time, again, the majority Shia population and the minority Kurdish population, they revolted against Saddam Hussein. But this time Saddam Hussein is not in a mood to control the people. Simply what he did is, he used the chemical weapon against his own people and killed his people. See, according to some international convention, chemical weapons should not be used in war. If two countries are fighting with each other, countries should not use chemical weapons. See, they can use nuclear weapons or any other weapon, but not chemical weapon. So like that, see, we will discuss this in some other class. What is the politics behind that? Leave it. But anyway, using chemical weapons in war is banned. Many countries have become a party. So but Saddam Hussein is using the chemical weapons for the civil war. Civil war means it is not against its own people. People are revolting against the government. Government is using chemical weapons against its own people. So this resulted in sanctions. This sanctions on Iraq was there until 2000, until Saddam Hussein was overthrown. So this was happening in Iraq. So ultimately you have to note that in 2001, September 11 attack was there in US. That everybody know. Okay, 9/11 attack. And US was attacked. So US declared war against global terrorism. And what US did is, US sent its army to Afghanistan to eliminate this Osama bin Laden. And the US president also wanted to use this as an opportunity. And he entered Iraq. And US army overthrown Saddam Hussein and eliminated Saddam Hussein and replaced Iraq with a democratic government, because US is having an official policy of promoting democracy. So Saddam Hussein, you have to note that he is a strong leader. He's a dictator. Okay, so there was no democracy in Iraq. But now, after this in 2003, you have to note that a democratic government was installed in Iraq. So that you have to know. Okay. See, on what basis US waged war against Iraq means, US simply put a blame on Saddam Hussein that Saddam Hussein is developing nuclear bombs. So US entered Iraq and eliminated Saddam Hussein, and finally what US did is, US came out of Iraq, telling that there is no nuclear bombs there in Iraq. So the purpose is over. So US came back. So in 2011, US left Iraq. See, a particular big country, because by the time the entire world was unipolar. Unipolar means in the sense the entire world was under the control of only one power, one superpower. The Russia is no more. So that's why whatever US said, that US dictated the international politics. So that's why without consulting, because it is not a United Nations action, unilaterally US took action against Iraq, simply putting a blame that Iraq is having weapon of mass destruction. That is nuclear weapon. And after that, after they invaded Iraq, they said that no, such a thing is not there. So we are coming back. So in 2011, US came out of Iraq because US did not gain anything from Iraqi war, except that they overthrown the unfriendly Saddam Hussein. Unfriendly means who is unfriendly to US. Okay, except that no benefit is there. See, because you don't like someone, you should not go for war. If any country is going for a war, man, it should get some benefits. Okay, so you have to establish something. Okay, so you should get something. Without any kind of benefits, no country will do anything. So this is international affairs. The first class itself I have. So ultimately, US left Iraq after changing the power regime in Iraq. So now Iraq, by the time, was under the control of Nur al-Malik. Now 2-3 prime minister has changed, but everybody are Shia hardliners. They are all Shia people because democracy works based on majoritarian rule. Majoritarian rule means who is majority in Iraq? Obviously the Shia people. So Shia people, a leader from Shia people only have become the leader of Iraq. So once the Shia people became the leader of Iraq, what they did is they completely marginalized the Sunni Muslim population. See, in 2003, this is the question. The Shia people, now they have power with the support of US. But they don't know how to do administration. Because 3-4 decades under Saddam Hussein rule, they'd never been ever a head of a small province. Yeah, at least, for example, at least you should know administration. No? If suddenly tomorrow somebody is making me or you as the Prime Minister of India, I mean, do you think that we can rule the country? It is not possible. For that, you need experience. Shia people doesn't have the experience. Number one. See, if they are really experienced people, means if you wanted to get the legitimacy of the government, means you should include everyone. So that is very, very important. Yeah, see, because in the history, those people neglected the Shia's welfare. That doesn't mean that now you have to reverse the policy. But the Shia people completely reverse the policy. All the benefits which was enjoyed by the Sunni Muslims now are being enjoyed by the Shia Muslims alone. The Sunni people who are very powerful in the 3-4 decades now lost all that. So ultimately what happened? The Sunni Muslim leaders agitated. They wanted to overthrow the Shia government. So the Shia government arrested all Sunni Muslim leaders and they marginalized the Sunni Muslim population. Marginalization means no benefits, that means no welfare to the Sunni Muslim population. So what happened as a result of this? Lot of Sunni resistant movements against the Shia militant groups were formed within Iraq. Lot of small groups were there. So these small groups, what they did is they wanted to overthrow the Shia government in Iraq and wanted to re-establish Sunni Muslim rule in Iraq. So this is what happened. And one among that small resistant group is this ISIS or ISI. ISIS means Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, Islamic State of Iraq and Levant. So these are all the two important, that means two names of the single terrorist organization. Syria, Levant, Levant, both are same. Okay. So initially they were a militant group. Later they become a big terrorist organization. Militant group means who are taking arms against the government. They are called militants. Terrorism means they will do sabotage activity. Innocent population also might have, they also will be killed. So that is terrorist. Okay. So initially this you have to note that this ISIS, ISL was a small organization, but later they became very big. Okay. So now they are completely out of proportion. That means nobody is in a position to control this ISIS. So this is the question. So ISIS is they have become a very big organization. Okay. And again, this map is very, very important. Okay. So this map shows the position of Middle East before 2003. That means during Saddam Hussein's regime, and the position after Saddam Hussein. See, this green territory means you have to note that Shia is in Shia populated territory. Okay. Green P means Shias in power. Blue territory means Sunni population. Blue P means Sunni Muslims are in power. Okay. So this is during when Saddam Hussein was alive, when he was fighting against Western countries. By the time, or that means the last 3-4 decades before 2003, the position is like this. See, Shia population, Shia in power. Shia dominated population, but Sunni Muslim, Saddam Hussein is in power. Although Sunni Muslim population, a Shiite in power. Lebanon, Shia population, Shiites in power. Okay, so there is a theory. If any country can access Mediterranean, this is Mediterranean Sea. So this is Mediterranean Sea. Okay, if anyone can access Mediterranean Sea, means that particular country will become a superpower. Okay, why I am telling this is a superpower means why means because if you can mobilize your security forces here to this is Mediterranean Sea. Okay, if you can mobilize, this is Mediterranean Sea. If you can mobilize your forces here, means this is Europe, this is Africa, and this is Asia. So through Suez Canal, you can connect Indian Ocean. Okay, so this area is a tri-junction. If you can mobilize your security forces here in this region, means then that particular country will become influential country. They can involve in European politics, they can involve in African politics, and then they can also involve in Asian politics. And not only just in terms of security. If security can be provided, means your goods also can be can access this territory. So if Iran is good in petrol, oil, and all. Okay, if petrol, oil is there in this territory, means you have to note that from here. If there is a favorable price in Europe, means you can go there. If there is a favorable price, means you can go to Africa or Asia. So trade, in terms of trade and also in terms of security, if you can access here, means will be the superpower. But Iran cannot access Mediterranean Sea because who will block this? Saddam Hussein. Saddam is there. Saddam will not allow Iran to enter this territory. So this is what happened. That means during Saddam Hussein was in power in Iraq. Okay, so Saddam Hussein was the only hurdle for Iran to access Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so this was the position. But what happened is all the situation changed after 2003 when Saddam Hussein was overthrown. Okay. See this, now you see Shia population, Shiites are in power. Shia population, now there is a change in regime. Saddam Hussein is no more. So now instead of blue P, now green P is there. So that means Shiites are in power. So here also Shiite is in power. Here also Shiite is in power. So now there is a free hand for Iran to access the Mediterranean Sea. So that means Iran can now access Mediterranean Sea. Iran is a comparatively a very strong country in that particular region. Strong in everything. Okay. See, if people raise hands, I'm not going to answer. You are interrupting the class. Okay. So anyway, so Iran is now free to access Mediterranean Sea. So that means the implication is Iran's power is increasing. Iran's power is increasing. Okay. Or at least after some time, I will stop there and then I'll ask. See, don't interrupt the class by raising the questions. I mean, a hand. Okay. I will answer all your doubts. Don't worry. So if Iran's power is increasing, means what will happen? Saudi will not like this. At least you see, you have to note that when Western countries overthrown Saddam Hussein, Saudi did not help them because he is a Sunni leader. So automatically Saudi should support him, no? But the problem is Iran and that means the Saddam Hussein and Saudi Arabia doesn't like each other. They doesn't like each other. Okay, but at least Saudi was happy that he is fighting against Iran. So this is what happened. But now what happened is Saddam Hussein is now no more. Okay, Saddam Hussein is no more now. So now you have to note that Iran is now have a free hand. Okay, so now Iran can easily access Mediterranean Sea. So the Shia power is increasing. So Saudi Arabia now got into trouble. Okay, Saudi Arabia now got into trouble. So that means Saudi Arabia doesn't want Iran to become a powerful country. So the ultimate idea of Saudi Arabia is to stop Iran accessing this Mediterranean Sea. Somehow Iran have to break this particular axis, the Shia power axis. Shia is now accessing Mediterranean Sea, no? So Shia, that means the Iran should not access Mediterranean Sea. Otherwise, Iran will become powerful than Saudi Arabia. So it wanted to break this power axis. It wanted to break this power axis. Okay. So for that, what Saudi Arabia initially did, you see, see earlier when Saddam Hussein was there, this problem was not there, but now this problem is there. So that means Saddam, because now Iraq is under the control of a Shia leader. This is the reason. Earlier Sunni Muslim leader was there, no problem. Now Shia leader is there, that is the problem. So Saudi Arabia wanted to change the regime in Iraq. Saudi Arabia, a Sunni Muslim power, wanted to overthrow the Shia ruler in. See, I will take a small break. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, in office they are calling. Okay, 1 minute. Okay. See, the point is, some people were not able to see the map. Okay, so the PPT. So actually, I have shared it only. Screen share I have done. Okay, so now I want to know whether people can see it now. See the map now. See the PPT. So actually earlier itself it was screen share was there only. Okay. After sharing the screen only I was annotating everything. Okay. So, is it okay now? Is it okay? Okay, we will continue. Okay. So again again we'll revisit this particular map because other things are okay. This map is very important. Okay. So again we have to discuss this. No way. Okay. See. Now only I am using this software. Okay. So earlier and all directly in the class I used to take. Okay. So because this is the third time I'm using this. Okay. So it will take some time for me to familiarize everything. Okay. So anyway, you'll see, no problem. Okay. So this is not a regular class, so no issue. Okay. So again, you'll see. 1 minute. And board la mattum kirukadinga, tension aidudhu. 1 minute. So this is the map. That means the position. That means of the Shia power and Sunni power during Saddam Hussein's regime. That means before 2003 regime. So Shia population, Shiite in power. Shia population, but Sunni Muslim is in power. Saddam Hussein is in power. So this is Syria, Shia power. Lebanon also Shia power. Okay. So Iran, Iraq were fighting with each other. So this is the point. Okay. But now what happened is Western country have overthrown the Sunni Muslim ruler Saddam Hussein and replaced it by a democratic rule. Now this is the question. Shia population, Shiites in power. In Iran, Iraq, Shia population, Shiites in power. Earlier, Sunni Muslim was in power. Now Shiites are in power. Syria, Shiites are in power. Lebanon, Shiites are in power. So this is the question. Okay. So what happened is when Western country overthrown Saddam Hussein, what this Saudi should have done? Saudi should have protected Saddam Hussein. No? Saudi did not protect Saddam Hussein because they don't like each other for some personal ego clash. They don't like each other. So ultimately, what happened is, but at least the Saudi Arabia was happy with Saddam Hussein that he was fighting a war with Iran. But now what happened is a Shia power axis has been formed. If any country can access Mediterranean cement, that country will become a superpower. So because everybody from Iran till Mediterranean Sea are Shia power, so Iran can mobilize its forces, can send its oil and gas to Mediterranean Sea. So Iran has become a powerful country. So Saudi did not like this. So Saudi wanted to overthrow this particular regime because ultimate idea is Saudi wanted to break this Shia power axis. So Saudi doesn't want Iran accessing Mediterranean Sea. It wanted to break this Shia power axis. So why this Shia power axis has been formed? Because of Saddam Hussein removal. So Saudi wanted to remove the Shia government in Iraq and wanted to re-establish the Sunni power in Iraq. But that is not possible. Why? Means because the present Iraqi government was completely supported by, number one, earlier Iran and Iraq were fighting with each other because both belong to different community. But now a Shia power is there. So who is supporting Iraqi government? One, Iran is supporting. And another person who is supporting Iraqi government is US. US said that I have just implemented democracy. See, Saudi Arabia complained to US that by changing regime there in Iraq, now Iran our common enemy, because Iran is a common enemy to both US and Saudi. You have made our enemy stronger. Like that, Saudi complained to US. But US said that I can't do anything because I just implemented democracy in Iraq. So I can't do anything. So that means if you change the regime in Iraq, means this will challenge the autonomy. That means the hegemony of US. US is a superpower. No, US only installed the government. If you can overthrow that particular government, means then US power is coming down. That is the understanding. So US cannot allow this. So that's why what the Saudi is doing is it is applying the democratic formula in Syria. In Syria, who is the majority? Sunni Muslims are the majority. But who is in power? Shia is in power. So if you put democracy, if you apply democracy there in Syria, means automatically because of the majoritarian rule, now automatically a Sunni Muslim leader will become the leader of Syria. And Saudi Arabia also will be happy because a Sunni ruler is there, means Iran cannot access Mediterranean Sea. So Iran's power will come down. So all the problems of Saudi Arabia will be solved. So that's why what Saudi is doing today is, that means after 2011, it began to support some of the resistant movements in the Sunni Muslim territory to overthrow the Iraqi government. And it is also instigating problem among the people and it is instigating such that see, we are majority, Sunni Muslims, we are the majority in the country. How come a minority can rule our country? So like that, they are instigating problems. So as a result of this, people are now revolting against Syria. So Saudi is creating problem against both Iraqi government and Syria government. Okay, so because both the governments you have to note that they are Shia powers. So that's why Saudi Arabia wanted to overthrow both the governments, Iraqi government, and on the other side, Saudi is also initially have helped some of the militant movements to overthrow both. So as a result only, you have to note that in the Syria-Iraq border, this ISIS became popular. So now I think you can understand that why in Syria a civil war is going on. Okay, so because Saudi is instigating, because they wanted to change the Shia power regime in Syria. So this is the reason. Okay, so ultimately Iran should not get any benefit. This is the ultimate understanding. Okay. So now we will move to the next slide. So this is the present position in Iraq. The red patches are under the control of government. The yellow patches are under the control of the Kurdish forces. So let's leave Kurdish for some time. This is the black patches are under the control of ISIS. And this part also ISIS is popular in Syria. This side you have Syria. So this side also you have this side also this ISIS is popping. This side. This is Syria. Okay, so Syria. In Syria, this area is also under the control of ISIS. So Islamic State of Syria and Iraq and Syria. So that is the name. Okay. So this ISIS now have become a very big organization. Now, see, initially Saudi thought that let us use this ISIS to become the leader of the entire Islamic community. But what happened is, see, people don't scribble in the thing. Okay. Anyway, I have hello, but no, I have disabled, but don't do anything. Okay, in the screen. Okay. So Saudi thought that let us use this ISIS to overthrow these two regimes. But now ISIS wanted to overthrow everyone and wanted to become the leader of the entire Islamic community. So this is ISIS ultimate objective. So this is the ISIS leader. What ISIS leader wants is he wanted to eliminate all the Shia people and wanted to convert everyone to Sunni Muslims or kill Shia community. That's why he's going for ethnic cleansing. He is the leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Okay, so what is the problem for ISIS with respect to India? See, ISIS is the biggest terrorist organization compared to other terrorist organizations. Why? Because they are very, very powerful. They have a lot of money. That's the reason. So as of now, ISIS action is not there, in presence is not there in India. Okay, but we have concerns regarding ISIS. Means number one, they have successfully radicalized Indian youth. So by spreading messages, canvassing the youth population, what they have done is the mind has become agitated for the Indian youths. Internally, they are supporting terrorist organization, and they have mastered the art of exploit. That means this social media. So now everybody have access to social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, etc. So through this, they are spreading messages and canvassing people. And third, India has become a recruiting ground for ISIS. In ISIS, some Indians are also fighting with ISIS. That means along with ISIS. They have joined ISIS. So a lot of Indian people, they are going and working in West Asia. If they lose jobs, means those people are the target of ISIS. They will canvass them and they will be included in ISIS. And another big problem is there are other terrorist organizations already existing in India. Now they are dormant. Okay. So if ISIS wanted to have its operation in India, I mean, they have to establish the foundation. But ISIS doesn't have direct foundation. But other terrorist organizations have foundation. If Indian terrorist organization, ISIS have some kind of link. The good thing is they doesn't like each other because of ego clash. Okay, we will discuss that later. Okay. But if our Indian-based terrorist organization is there, no Paki Indian-based, if they have some direct tie-up with ISIS, means then ISIS directly start operation in India. So India will be under severe problem. And suppose if ISIS becomes successful in Syria and Iraq, next directly they will wage war against Iran, because Iran is a Shia country. So the Sunni Muslim-based terrorist organization, this ISIS I am telling, it will eliminate Iraq. If Iran falls down, first Syria, then Iraq, then the target will be Iran. If Iran falls down, next target will be India. Why? Means because you have to note that the Pakistan-based ISIS, the Pakistan is using terrorism against India to achieve certain objectives. Okay, they may use this ISIS against India. The Pakistan will act like a bridge from Iran to India. Directly, they can open operation in India. So this will be a big problem for India. So these are all the concerns of India towards ISIS. And this is what ISIS wants. See, these names and all not important. So this is just a projection. This map is not going to realize. This dream of ISIS is not going to realize. Okay. So this is the worldwide caliphate. Okay. So the Islamic nations of the world, majority nations. Okay. So automatically, this was under the medieval world. This entire area was under the control of the Baghdad Caliphate. Okay. So again, this Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the leader of this ISIS, wanted to create a worldwide caliphate. He wanted to recreate the medieval world. But the thing is, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi frequently was killed. But again and again, he is coming up. But, earlier, US one time killed. Russia also one time killed. Recently, Trump also has announced that. He declared that this ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is no more. But the problem is again and again he's appearing. Okay. But as of now, he's killed. This is the latest information. But anyway, whether ISIS leader, this Abu Baghdadi, is there or not, that is not an important one. ISIS have to completely root it out. We have to completely bring them to zero. That is not possible also. And world countries are trying for that. Nobody like this ISIS. So the ultimate point is, if Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi really, if he is no more, means some other leader who is who becomes the leader of ISIS, in order to prove his credibility to the terrorist organization, he will plan for big things than Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. So ultimately, unless we completely eliminate all the terrorist organization, this is going to be this ISIS is going to be a big problem for the entire world. Now ISIS now have reduced to small, very small level. Okay, but they are dormant, but they are not extinct. Extinct means completely eliminated. Then they are not completely eliminated, but now they are powerless. So this is the present position. Okay. So now, so until this only we discussed in the last class. Okay. So now we will enter into today's class, Syria. We will discuss Syria today. Okay. So Syria, this is the map. This is Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Palestine area. Israel, Palestine we have left out in today's discussion. Okay. But anyway, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a Sunni Muslim power. UAE is a Sunni Muslim power. Qatar is a Sunni Muslim power. These three are the entire GCC countries. We have Sunni Muslims. Iran is the Shia power. Iraq, Shia majority country. Now today is ruled by a Shia ruler. No problem. Syria, Sunni Muslim majority country, but Syria is under the control of a Shia ruler. Okay, we are going to discuss that. In Lebanon, they have a mixed population, but Shiites are in power. Everybody share power there. So Lebanon is not a problem. So Iran now Iran can access Mediterranean Sea. Iran can access Mediterranean Sea. Okay. So Iraq is a Shia power. Syria is Shia power. Lebanon Shia power. So automatically Iran can access Mediterranean Sea. In order to break the access, now Saudi Arabia is targeting Syria. Saudi Arabia cannot directly target Syria, Iraq. It is indirectly doing it by helping some of the opponents of the Shia government there in Iraq. But ISIS, whom got the help of the Saudi Arabia, now is not listening to Saudi Arabia. So now ISIS and Saudi Arabia, they are fighting with each other. This is the question. So Saudi Arabia thinks that if we implement democracy in Syria, since majority 60 to 70% of the population are Shia community, so automatically in Syria, Sunni Muslim community, in Syria, a Sunni Muslim ruler will come to power. Automatically, the Shia power axis will be broken. So this is the understanding. This is the understanding. Okay, so if you wanted to know who are all the people fighting in Syria, this is who are friends, who are fighting against whom. This is like this one. Okay, complete confusion. See, lot of people are fighting in this particular territory. Main groups, subgroups, neighboring countries are involved. Superpowers, regional superpowers are involved. World superpowers, Russia, US are involved. So lot of people are involved in this particular one. Okay, it is complete confusion. You can't easily define what is happening in Syria, because in one word I can define. Everybody are fighting with everyone. So that is Syria. Okay, complete confusion. Okay, so this is, see, suppose this is the ethnic population in Syria. In Syria, 59% of the total population in Syria, you have Sunni Arab Muslims, the Saudi Arabia group. Okay, the Sunni Arab Muslims, their leader, obviously their leader is Saudi Arabia. Okay, Sunni Arab Muslims. They nearly approximately, you have to note that they are 2/3 of the total population. And then the Kurdish population is around 9%. Levantines, the local population is around 9%. Other Christians and other small religions are there, other beliefs are there, they are 10%. See, this 11.8% is the Shia population. Shia population, that you have to know. Shia, they are Alawites. Alawites are subgroups of Shiites. They are the subclan. See, within Hindu, you have other caste, no? Within a caste, subcaste is there, no? Like that. So Alawites are Shia people. They are only 11.8% of the total Syrian population. But note that this Alawites I am telling, They are the Alawites are the rulers of Syria. That you have. The ruler's name today, the president of Syria, his name is Bashar al-Assad. Bashar al-Assad is an Alawite. He's an Alawite. That you have. He's an Alawite. Okay, that means they are Sunni Muslim rulers. Sorry, Shia. The majority country is Sunni Muslim, but the ruler is a Shia, Alawite. Alawites are Shia people. Okay, so let's leave Kurdish that for some time. Okay, so because a lot of confusions are there. First, let us discuss what is the problem between these two communities, and later we will include Kurdish population. Okay, majority population is Arab Sunni Muslims. Minority population is Alawites. But Alawites are the rulers of Syria. So this you should know. And see, Syria became an independent country in 1946. Okay, and then the other politics are not important. The important thing is in 1963, a Ba'athist party they had a coup d'etat. Coup d'etat means military takeover. Military coup. Coup d'etat, a French word. Coup d'etat. Coup d'etat means military takeover. So using military, a Ba'athist, don't confuse this Ba'athist party with Iraq, Saddam Hussein's Ba'athist party. Both are different. Okay. So in Syria, one Ba'ath party is there. Ba'ath party is there. That Ba'athist party, using military, they took over the control of Syria. Okay. And the leader of the Ba'ath party was Hafiz al-Assad. And this Hafiz al-Assad, from 1970 till 2000, he was the president of Syria. That means it's something like a dictatorship. Okay. So see, how can a particular ruler can rule the country for continuously for 30 years? So using military only. See, minorities ruling the majority. So minority ruling the majority means then you have to use police force and military force to control the majority. So Hafiz al-Assad, from 1970 till 2000, he was the president of Syria. In 2000, Hafiz al-Assad died of old age. And after that, his son, Bashar al-Assad, now have become the leader of Syria. So he is also, that means he is a Alawite. Bashar al-Assad is the present president. Bashar al-Assad is the present president of Syria. He is an Alawite who is a Shia, and he is getting the support from Iran. And Bashar al-Assad, Saudi Arabia doesn't like each other because Saudi Arabia wanted to overthrow this Bashar al-Assad. Okay, they wanted to overthrow Bashar al-Assad and wanted a Sunni Muslim ruler to control Syria so that Iran cannot access Mediterranean Sea. So can you understand? So from 2000, this is 2020, nearly for 2 full decades, 20 years, Bashar al-Assad is the president of Syria. And note that Syria was under emergency law from 1963 to 2011. Nearly for 50 years, emergency was there. Why emergency? See, normally, if a country is under emergency law, means the entire powers will be centralized. So even in India, we have emergency provisions. Okay, from 352, under 352, national emergency can be declared in Indian, according to Indian Constitution. If national emergency is declared in Indian Constitution, means you have to note that the state loses its power. State legislature will be completely under the control of central government. Parliament will take all the decisions. The powers will be completely centralized. So since Bashar al-Assad is a minority, he wanted everything to be under his control. Okay, that's why it was under emergency law. Then why in 2011 there was why he revoked the emergency law? Because in 2011 there was one particular event called Arab uprising was there. Arab revolt. What is Arab revolt? I will tell you shortly. Arab revolt means very simple. The people rose against the government in all the Arab world. We will discuss what is Arab Spring or Arab Spring shortly. Okay. So in all Arab nations, the people wanted to overthrow the strong government, centralized government, and they wanted democracy. That is called Arab Spring. So now the people of Syria, who instigated the people of Syria? Who is coming there in Syria? Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia wanted to change the regime now, but country is peaceful. See, although Syria was under dictator rule, country was relatively peaceful only. No big problem was there. Even in the Bashar al-Assad government, Sunni Muslims were also there. In Bashar al-Assad, that means government in Syrian army, Sunni Muslims were also, military leaders were also there. Syria was relatively peaceful only. No, that I'm not telling it was very good, but there was no big problem was there until Saudi Arabia intervened. Saudi Arabia entered Syria, asked the people, see, we are the Sunni Muslims are the majority in the country. How come a minority Bashar al-Assad can rule this country? So you go and create problem. Like that, they instigated a problem. Okay. So as a part of this, when the people revolted against Bashar al-Assad, the government cracked down. This led to a civil war in Syria. So now Bashar al-Assad is fighting against its own people. That you have. He's fighting against his own people. Okay. The people, majority people are Sunni Muslims. So now in Syria, the ruling Shia, that is Alawites, and the majority Sunni Muslim population are fighting with each other. Who instigated the majority Sunni Muslim population? Saudi Arabia. So now I think you have a fair understanding what is happening in Syria. So now in Syria, the government is fighting against its own people, majority people. All the opponents of Bashar al-Assad, they are Sunni Muslims. Okay. The supporters of Bashar al-Assad, they are the Alawites, the Shia people. So Bashar al-Assad is cracking down his own people. So he have no choice. The point is, if Bashar al-Assad step down from power, means what will happen? Means the scenario is, if Bashar al-Assad step down from power, this guy steps down from power, means all the Alawites will be wiped off from Syria. So this is the position. Because they always, this hate relation is there, no, among this community. If, see, at least under Bashar al-Assad, there was no big hatred towards Sunni Muslim population. But if the Sunni Muslim population comes to power, a leader is installed by Saudi Arabia as a leader of Syria, means they will completely marginalize the 11% Alawite population, the ruling class population today in Syria. 11% of the population will be wiped off from the Syrian territory. Okay. So in order to protect his community, 11% of the population, he is retaining his power. He have to hold his power. Otherwise, Bashar al-Assad, what he can do is he can escape to some other country and live peacefully. He have to protect his people. So already we know in Arab nations, the person have to become the leader, or someone from his community should become the leader. Otherwise, people will die. So this is the politics in Syria, in entire Arab countries. Okay. So Bashar al-Assad is now holding power in Syria using military. He is fighting against his own people. So in Syria, the point is there is a civil war going in Syria. Okay. So until Saudi Arabia intervenes, if no third party is intervening in the internal affairs, means people will see, even they have problem, they will settle the problem. They will come to some kind of understanding. They will share the power, share the resources. They want all world people, all world country people want peace only until the third party intervenes. That we have. So this is happening in Syria. So now we'll further discuss what is happening in Syria. Okay, so you see in Syria, Syria is having very good relationship with China, Iran, Venezuela, and Russia. So this you should note. Okay, so Syria is having good relation with Iran, China, Venezuela, and Russia. So openly all the four countries, openly they will support Syria. Why Syria is having good relationship with Iran? See, equation is simple. Iran is the leader of the Shia. Syrian leader is a Shia. So Iran supports Syrian leader. So if Syrian leader is the Bashar al-Assad is overthrown, Iran will not have access to maintenance. So that's why Iran completely backs Syria. Why China is supporting Syria? Why means because of the other reason that US wanted to overthrow Syrian regime. I will come to why US want to overthrow Syria. See, whoever US is supporting, China will support the opposite party. Very simple. So that is US-China Cold War. Again, Venezuela will support anyone who is opposed by US. US wanted to overthrow Syrian regime, no? So automatically Venezuela support them. Russia also same thing. US wanted to overthrow Syrian regime. That's why Russia is supporting Syrian regime. So here we have to understand why this Russia, what is the relation between Syria and Russia. So this is very, very, very important. Okay. Again, for that, again, we have to go to the map. 1 minute. Okay. So now you see Russia is somewhere here, above this part. So this yellow part, this is Russia. So Russia, here also Russia is there above this map. Okay. See, this is Iran, this is Syria. Syria is having direct borders with Mediterranean Sea. So north to this particular map I'm telling, we have the big Russia. See, already I said, Mediterranean Sea is the key to become superpower. See, even I am telling, if India can mobilize, see, so for example, one day, someday, if India can mobilize all our forces through this Red Sea, and if we can connect to this Mediterranean Sea through the Suez Canal, means that day India is number one in the world. See, but that day is not near. Okay, that is not possible as of now. As of now, we are not able. We have a lot of problems in our borders itself. Okay. So anyway, so the point is, if so that means if any country can mobilize their forces to Mediterranean Sea, this is Mediterranean Sea, means they are superpower. So you have to note that, but Russia doesn't have borders with Mediterranean Sea. So Russian forces have to be stationed in Mediterranean Sea. So for that, in Syria, there is one port is given to Russia for having a naval base there in Mediterranean Sea. So Russia is having a naval base in Mediterranean Sea in a Syrian Tartar. That port is called Tartarus port. We just check in the map, Tartarus. The Tartarus port. So that port is under the control of Russia. Russia is having a naval base. Because Russian Navy is there in Mediterranean Sea, Russia is a superpower. Otherwise, Russia is a dummy power. That is the understanding. Why Russia is one of the strong country in the world? Because Russia has the ability to maintain its naval forces in Mediterranean Sea. How Russia maintains naval force in Mediterranean Sea? By having a sea, that means a base in Syrian port. So Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad have allowed Russia to keep all its naval force, one big naval force in Mediterranean Sea in a Syrian port. That's why Russia supports Syria. Then why US wanted to overthrow Syria? Very simple. If the Syrian regime only allowing Russia to keep the naval base. Suppose in Syria, the Bashar al-Assad is overthrown by some other leader who is friendly with the US, Russia will lose this naval base. Russia can be contained. If Russia loses this naval base, means Russia is just a dummy power. Okay, so see, a country is a superpower. This is the history. I'm talking about history. All world superpower had a big naval force. Navy is very, very important because using Navy only you can mobilize your army. See, Indian forces, the three armed forces are there, no? We call these three armed forces as a defense forces. Why defense forces? Because we don't have any intention to go to another country, to another continent and manipulate the government there or attack there or conquer them. So that's why India is not concentrating much on Navy, but India is concentrating more on Army and Air Force. Why? Means all we need is to protect our base. This is our ultimate intention. But countries like China, Russia, already US, earlier England, Japan, earlier before World War I'm telling, all are naval superpowers. If you have Navy, means you can go anywhere in the world and fight. So if Russia is mainly depending upon this port to maintain its superiority in Mediterranean Sea. If Russia loses the port, means Russia loses its superpower status. Russia can be easily handled because no port is there available in Mediterranean Sea. So Russia cannot maintain its force. So that's why if you can maintain your naval force here, means Russia can involve in European politics, Russia can involve in African politics, and Russia can also access Asia. So this is the reason why Russia is supporting Syria. This is the reason why US wanted to overthrow Syrian regime, so that Russia will not get any kind of benefits. That particularly Russia will lose its naval base there in Syria. You can understand. So this is the reason. That's why Russia is supporting Syria. So now I think you can understand why Iran is supporting Syria. China and Venezuela support anyone who are opposed by US. So Iran supports Syria because of the Shia link, and Russia supports because Russia needs Syrian naval base, that port to keep its navy. And not only that, Syria is the second largest defense partner of Russia, next to India. Who is Russia's number one defense partner? It is India. So India's number one defense partner is also Russia. So today, 70 to 80% of the total Indian defense equipments are all came from Russia. Everything is from Russia. That you have. Okay, but now and for Russia, I'm telling you, for Russia, they are selling all majority of its defense equipments to India. Second biggest customer of Russian equipments is Russia. I mean Syria. So that's why Russia is completely supporting Syria. So during when people revolted against Bashar al-Assad, this time Syrian government used the chemical gas against its own people. That gas name is called sarin gas. Okay, so already we know no country should use chemical weapon in war. But Syrian government, the Bashar al-Assad is using chemical weapon against its own people. So that's why what happened is world countries were about to pass a resolution in United Nations Security Council to take military action against the Syrian government. That particular resolution was sponsored by US, United States in UNSC. But in UNSC, who is also a member? Russia is also a member. So Russia vetoed that particular resolution. So world countries, particularly US, was not in a position to overthrow the Syrian regime using United Nations. Okay, and the US also is not ready to directly come and fight with the Syrian government and overthrow the Syrian government, because if US is trying to overthrow the Syrian government, means what will happen? Who will come to the rescue of Syria? One, Iran will come to the rescue of Syria because of the community. Second, Russia will completely back Syria, because for Russian politics, for Russia to maintain its superpower, Russia will support Syrian government. Okay, if Russia is there, means US will never enter war, because if Russia and Syria both are fighting with each other, Russia is backing Syrian government. If they are doing like this, US cannot come and intervene and overthrow Syrian regime. Syrian government has the support of Russia and Iran. So this is the position. That's why United States or United Nations was not in a position to solve the Syrian civil war problem. So what United Nations did is, United Nations sent Kofi Annan. See, Kofi Annan is now he's no more. Recently only he died. Okay, he was the former General Secretary of United Nations itself. So he proposed a peace plan. The peace plan was rejected. Okay, it did not work well. And again, UN sent another person, Lakhdar Brahim. He proposed a truce deal, a compromise between the Syrian government and the opposition forces. That also did not work well. And what happened is, in 2016, Geneva peace talk was arranged, because from 2011 till 2016, nearly for 5 years, this Bashar al-Assad was fighting a civil war. Daily you are fighting means automatically your energy will drain. Okay, so see, nearly for 2-3 months the economy did not work, means see how much economic difficulty India is facing. Nearly for 5 years, the country is fighting a war, and that too the opponents, the Sunni Muslims, they are getting the support from Saudi Arabia and also from US and from other parties, European powers. So with the help of Iran and Russia, only Syrian government is surviving. But it is Syrian government who have to fight. So the power of Syrian government is coming down. The strength, the military strength, the economic strength is coming down. So Bashar al-Assad in 2016 was in a very weak position. Weak position means, in the sense, after fighting a war, he drained all his energy. So Western countries thought that, European powers and US thought that, let us have a peace talks. Geneva means UN-based peace talk. In the peace talk, let us bring the opponent party and also Bashar al-Assad and the other interested party regarding Syria. So in a weaker position, if Bashar al-Assad attend this particular meeting, means what will happen? We can put pressure on Bashar al-Assad, and because of international pressure, Bashar al-Assad may step down with some deal. This was the idea. So in 2016 February, this Geneva peace talk was about to get convened, but the peace talk was suspended, because what happened is, Russia also know very well that if Bashar al-Assad in a weaker position goes to that particular Geneva peace documents, then what will happen? Bashar al-Assad will step down from power. Some other leader will become the leader of Syria. And ultimately, it will be a check for Russia. Russia cannot maintain its naval base there in Syria. So it is in the interest of Russia that Bashar al-Assad should not attend this particular meeting, or this peace talk should not be convened. So what Russia did is, Russia sent two from its naval base there in Syria itself. It sent two of its air fighters into Syria, because in Syria everybody have a common enemy. Who is that? This ISIS. So Russian, this two air fighters, they said that they are going to bombard all the ISIS installations inside Syria. ISIS is the enemy of Syrian government, Iran, Saudi, US, Russia, everyone. They are the common enemy. So Russia said that we are taking action against ISIS. So the Russian two air fighters entered Syria and they put bombs on the two installations, all installations on ISIS. They destroyed some of the bases of ISIS. But while coming back, what this Russian air fighters did is, the fighters they did is, they put bombs on all the opponents of Bashar al-Assad and returned to the base. That means the opponents of Bashar al-Assad meant the Sunni Muslim, that camp is the rival camp. They are being attacked, and the Russian aircraft came back to the base. So the Russian opposition now became weaker. That means now Bashar al-Assad position becomes strong. Can you understand? See, the rebels in Syria, they were every year they are getting better and better. They became stronger. So that's why they wanted to convince these peace talks so that Bashar al-Assad will step down. So in order to stop this, Russia sent two of its air fighters and put bombs on ISIS. And while returning back, it also put bombs on all the opponents of this Bashar al-Assad. And Bashar al-Assad position becomes stronger. The opponents of Bashar al-Assad, now they were attacked, now they have become weaker. So if Bashar al-Assad position is stronger, then there is no need of any peace talks. Because what Western country want? In a weaker position, Bashar al-Assad will be under pressure, and finally he will step down from the leadership. But now Bashar al-Assad is strong. That's why the meeting was suspended. But now you have to note that another a series of meeting in Kazakhstan, Astana peace talk is going on. Every year, every day, 20-25 meetings have gone. Daily they are talking. That's all. So no sign or no hope for peace in Syria. In Syria today also problem is going on. The ruling Bashar al-Assad government, who is a Alawite, who is an offshoot of Shia, is fighting against the majority Sunni Muslim population. Sunni Muslim population, they are the rebel groups in Syria. So these two people are fighting with each other. Okay, so this is the issue in Syria. Okay, so don't worry, we are going to connect everything with India. Okay, this is what happening in Syria. So who are all the, see, already I said, in any international issue, you have to find out what is the problem, who are all parties in that particular problem, what is their interest, and who is friend, who is enemy to whom. Then finally only we can find out what is India's interest, whom India supports, whom India doesn't like. Then only we will know. You can understand. So like that only you have to read all the newspapers. Okay. So this is the issue going on in Syria. Okay. So I think you have now a fair understanding what is going on in Syria. So what we'll do is we'll have a 2 minutes break. I will drink water and come. Then I will show you some. So no questions immediately. Okay. Questions only after the class. Okay. Immediately don't ask questions. Okay. So let me complete the class, today's question. I will give you enough time. I will clarify all your doubts. Okay. So I will have water and come. Okay. 2 minutes, short break. 2 minutes, we'll have break. And then again we will meet. Okay. 2 minutes. So some people were asking questions. Don't ask too much question. At the end of the class, I will answer. Okay, but anyway, I will clarify certain things. ISIS and ISIL are same people only. Both are same name only. Syria, the older name of Syria is called Levant. Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. Islamic State of Iraq and Levant. Both are same. What is the significance of the Mediterranean Sea? Mediterranean Sea already I said. If you can access maintenance means you can access Europe easily, Africa easily, and Asia easily. So if you can mobilize your forces, mobilize your goods means easy to trade. You can get lot of benefits. That is the understanding. And then somebody is asking easy to understand if the name in the map. Okay, see, if I want to explain map means lot of names are there in the map means, then how I can draw these lines and all. It will be confusing. See, already I said whenever you are reading news regarding bilateral relation or anything, you should have atlas side by your side. Without atlas, don't don't attend class or don't read newspaper. Already I have said. So use atlas. Okay, so without atlas, see what people are doing. See, whenever we are discussing some place, name, country, means immediately you have to check the atlas where it is there, what all the areas around this. That you have to check it. Okay, so this you have as a regular practice. Sir, what is Astana Pistak? So in Astana Pistak, all the people are there who are parties to the Syrian conflict. Okay, just a talking shop. Nothing is happening there in Astana Pistak. Bashar al-Assad, the opponents, all the other parties who are interested in Syria, they are trying to have a peaceful settlement. They are having negotiation, but no use. So Turkey and Syria also have naval bases in Mediterranean Sea. Yes, they will have it. See, why they are not powerful? See, the point is, everybody have money. I am also having money. Ambani is also having money. Then why are you not treating me like an Ambani? Because I have less money. Very simple. So Syria, Turkey, and all small people. Russia is a giant. That's why they are powerful. So being a giant is not important. You have to be in the right place. Mediterranean is the right place. So a big Russian navy can be there in Mediterranean. That's why they are powerful. If Sri Lanka can send its naval, it doesn't have any navy. Leave it. Small to protect its coast only. It is having a coastal guard ship. Suppose India send our ships there to Mediterranean, that doesn't mean that immediately India will become a big power. No. See, that also depends upon how much naval ships is there in Mediterranean. Okay. And then once again tell about Syria and Saudi Arabia. See, Saudi Arabia is a Sunni Muslim country. Syria is a Sunni Muslim dominated in population, but the ruler of Syria is a Shia. That's why Saudi wanted to overthrow Syrian ruler, and wanted Syria to be under the control of Sunni Muslims. So this is the problem. What is about ISIS? Keva. What is this? See, lot of small groups are there within that particular group. That and are not important. Just don't go for that. You will get into confusion. Okay. So just to keep that, ISIS is one group. Subgroups are there. Other terrorist organizations are also there. Just leave it. Don't. No need to enter into that. What is the name of the Russian base? Tartarus. Just to check it. Saudi Arabia conflict, sir. In a Saudi Arabia conflict. See, we have to ask the question properly. Okay. What is Ba'athist coup? Ba'athist means a group, they took over the country using military. They are not same with Iraq. Already I said. Don't confuse the Syrian Ba'athist party, Ba party, with the Iraqi Ba party. Both are different. See, in India we have Congress, no? Nepali Congress also is there. And also in US also, so in some other country also Congress will be there. Do you think that all this Congress party, Congress means a group? The meaning of that is, Congress means it is an association. US Parliament is called Congress. Well, it means all the people are gathering together. Okay. So I'm answering this question only for 2-3 minutes. Okay. Don't put too much questions. See, now many people are asking questions. You please keep your question till the end of the class. Okay. At the end of the class, I will answer. Why India is unable to access Mediterranean Sea? Why I am not able to compete with Ambani and Adani? Same reason. I am not powerful. Okay, India is not that much powerful. Why can't India go to Pluto? Why can't India go and hit China directly? Why? Means because we are not that much powerful. Very simple. See, if you are too much powerful, then we can access Mediterranean Sea. We can access Mediterranean Sea. Nobody, see, anyone can access Mediterranean Sea for peaceful purpose. No problem. I am telling you, if you can mobilize your security forces, that is the key point. Why sarin gas test conducted in Syria? It is a weapon, okay, chemical weapon, that's all. Like we have guns, we have nuclear bomb, chemical weapon. Sarin gas is a chemical weapon. It is not tested. It is used on the people. Why Syria under emergency law? See, already I said a minority is ruling the country. Minorities ruling the country means the point is so majority people will not accept the minority leadership. So the minority leader have to use military power. Under emergency law, he will be powerful. Under emergency, everything will be centralized. That is why Kofi Annan peace become failed. Because see, why India Pakistan was not able to solve the problem, because both are not ready to come down, step down. Okay, so like that, Kofi Annan announced the peace plan. Two people are fighting with each other. Third party endorsement. That doesn't mean that immediately the party will renounce violence and settle for some kind of agreement. No. Okay. So the two people doesn't like each other. So in the third party, it wanted to solve the problem means it is failing. It won't. That means it won't work. Third party normally will not work unless both the party wanted peace. Then what happened to Lakhdar Brahmi? Lakhdar Brahmi peace plan also failed plan. The United Nations effort to solve the Syrian crisis all failed. Very simple. Does US have a port? See, US have lot of friends in Mediterranean Sea. No problem. Okay. So NATO countries are there. No. So NATO countries, they are security alliance. Okay. So US can access easily. It is not a big issue. So why minority getting presidentship? Since it is not majority in the country, what is the practice of gaining? Through military, already I said, through coup d'etat, they came to power. Coup d'etat means military takeover. Don't Venezuela and China have naval army near Mediterranean Sea? China doesn't have, Venezuela also doesn't have. Can you please explain Oman in Sunni or Shia? Oman is a Sunni Muslim country only. Okay. So yesterday I shown one map. No, only in the map only where Shia population is there, I have shown. In Oman, Shia population also will be there, but they will be minority. Who or how this? Irrelevant question. We have not discussed this. That's why I asked. You have to rationalize your question. Okay. You have to ask the question from the area we have discussed. In the specific discussion. Okay. So in general discussion, you can ask this question. No issue. I will answer. Okay. So we have not discussed about Yemen. Now you are asking about how this. Okay. So these questions you can save for later. Sir, how to use knowledge when we are teaching good answer? See, no, I am not. See, Supriyo. See, UPSC preparation, I am telling you, is a marathon race. Okay, you have to start slowly, but steadily you have to run. So some people, what they are doing is, in the marathon race, first lap itself, they wanted to run like Usain Bolt. Means people cannot continue the race, not this. Okay, so slow and steadily we will do it. How this knowledge we can teach to write good answers. Okay, so see, it will take time. Okay, so just to understand what is going on there, then only you know what is going on there. Then only when a question is asked regarding that, you can answer. Okay, so how to use this in answer means how I can answer this. That depends upon the question which is asked in the question paper. Depending upon the question only, it doesn't mean that what all I teach, what all you read, you have to write it in the paper. Don't have this mentality. So people are keeping on asking questions. I am stopping here. We'll continue with the class. Okay, all people can ask the question at the end of the class. Okay, so we'll continue with the class. Okay, so now so far we have discussed. I think everybody, this is visible. Is the that means the slide is visible? Just yes, sir. Okay, good. Thank you. See, now so far we have discussed what is happening in Syria. So at the end of the class, I will give you enough time. I will answer all the questions. I am not going anywhere before answering your question. Okay, so don't worry. So we will at least complete Syria today. Okay, and start Iran. Then we can discuss, go for the question and answer session. Okay. So asking question is very good only. Then only class will be interactive. But this is all other people are there, no? Okay, so this online class, we should have some kind of regulation. Okay, see that day when Sir was coming for giving general instruction, I found some people asking questions regarding bilateral relation to him. He was answering that. So okay, but bilateral class is scheduled by that time. By the time, if he is giving some notification or some announcement, means regarding that you can ask question. We are asking some question some people who are asking economy based question to me, to the economics or some other bilateral means, how they will answer. Okay, the bilateral class regarding bilateral question. Regarding today's topic, you can ask today. At the end of the class, you can ask other general question related to bilateral. General, you have general doubts means when SAR comes or during the other session, you can have the clear the general doubts. Okay. So now we are discussing Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Syria. Okay. So confined to this area. Okay. When we discuss, for example, China is there, Russia is there, Pakistan is there. Means while we discuss Pakistan, you can ask that question. Or after the class, you can ask that question. Not in during the class. During the class, the question and answer session, you have to confine to the area which is in discussion. Then only it will be relevant. Other people are waiting. Okay. So I think we'll continue with the class. Okay, I will answer all your questions at the end of the class. Okay. So this is Syria. So now what I will do is I will show you some diagrams. See. Okay. I will go slowly. Don't worry. Okay. So see, in Syria, the problem is the ruling Bashar al-Assad government is getting the support from Iran and also Russia. Why Iran is supporting Bashar al-Assad government? Why means because Iran and Bashar al-Assad, they belong to the same clan, Shia. Why Russia is supporting Bashar al-Assad? Because Syria has allowed Russia to keep its naval base there in Syria, in Mediterranean. This is the reason. And Syria is the second largest importer of Russian goods. Why Saudi Arabia wanted to overthrow Syrian government? Because the Syrian government is a Shia government. So it is free for Iran to enter into Mediterranean Sea, even though the majority of people in Syria are Sunni Muslims. That's why Saudi Arabia wanted to overthrow the Shia-based Bashar al-Assad government, the Alawite government, and wanted to establish a Sunni government there in Syria, so that the Shia power axis I have shown you, that will be broken. The Shia power axis will be broken. Okay. And then why US wanted to overthrow Syrian regime? Because Syrian government has allowed, Syrian government is allowing, diagram not visible. 1 minute. So I will again, I will do it. Is it visible now? Is it visible? The slide is visible. Now no diagram is there. A slide is the Syria, the Astana peace talk that, okay, we'll continue the class. Okay. See, unless there is a serious issue, don't raise question. Okay, I got it. Okay. So if screen is not visible, then give me a message in chat. Because when some other people are asking a lot of questions, that's why I'm not opening the chat box. Okay. So the point is, if screen is not visible, you just okay. Diagram not visible. No diagram is there now. Can you all able to see the Syria, that slide, the Syrian slide? No. Many people are telling yes. Okay, I will take it as yes. Okay, I got it. Okay. So don't send any message unless you have some interruption. Okay. So Syrian government is getting why Syrian government, that means why US wants Syrian government to be overthrown? Why means because Syrian government allowing Russia in Mediterranean. If Syrian government is overthrown and US friendly government is installed in Syria, Russia will lose its naval base in Mediterranean. So US can contain Russia. So the point here is, you have to understand is, the Syrian crisis, actually it is a problem between the ruling government, the minority Shia and the majority Sunni Muslim. But actually it is not the problem. It is the shadow of the Cold War between Iran and Saudi Arabia on one side. Okay, can we take like this? Iran and Saudi Arabia doesn't like each other. So now their fight is now spilling on in Syria. If Iran, Saudi doesn't have a problem, means in the country no problem will be there. Number one. And number two, it is also the Cold War between Russia and US. So can you understand? So two things, two inference you have to take it. So like this only you have to take it and write it in your answer. Okay. So Syria people are fighting with each other means two people are fighting with each other means that is not the point to make it. The point is why that particular two people are fighting with each other. They have their own problem. That is not the world issue. What is international issue? In Syria there is a civil war going on. What is the implication of, what is the inference from that particular civil war? Because Iran and Saudi Arabia doesn't like each other. They are fighting. They are not fighting a direct war. Instead, they are fighting a war in Syria. Iran government is supporting the ruling. Iran is supporting the ruling party. That is the Alawite Shia people, Bashar al-Assad, and Saudi Arabia is supporting the rebel party. Okay, like that between Russia and US. US is supporting the rebel one, and Russia is supporting the ruling party. So this is what happening in Syria. Now I think now you have a very fair understanding about what is happening between in Saudi, Iran, Iraq, and Syria. Okay, so that means we have completed a very important portion in West Asia. Okay, the civil war, the problems, all the problems between the countries. That means between versus Saudi, Iran, Iraq, and Syria, and what is the interest of Russia, US. So who are all parties? Again, I will summarize this. Who are all parties to this Middle East problem? Saudi, US, and the Sunni Muslim population on one side. On the other side, Iran, Iraq government, the present Iraq government, and the present Syrian government, and Russia on the other side. So these are all the parties. This is how they have relation. These parties doesn't like each other. Okay, what they want? Bashar al-Assad for the Iran and Russia, Bashar al-Assad should remain in power. For US and Saudi Arabia, Bashar al-Assad should step down from power. Very simple. This is what they want. Okay, and now what we will do is we will further get into this particular problem by bringing more parties. I will show you the relationship between these parties. This is very, very important. So two groups of people are there. Actually, lot of groups are there. The two major groups are there in this particular conflict. Again, I am telling, one side you have Iran, Syrian government, Iraqi government, Russia, and the Shia population on one side. On the other side, you have Saudi, the Sunni Muslim population, the rebel forces in Syrian government, Turkey, and others. Wherever Sunni Muslim population is there, all are there with Saudi Arabia, and US also is supporting. So the Iran camp want Bashar al-Assad to remain in power. Saudi camp want Bashar al-Assad to step down from power. So this is how you have to see this. So no need to get further into this particular problem, because subgroups are there, other issues are there, political issues are there that are not important. So as a generalist, this is more than enough. So now I will show you the different parties and the relationship between different parties in some diagrams. You will have for a better understanding. Okay. So first you see this is Syria. So this is Syria. In Syria, the red patches are under the control of. So this is Mediterranean Sea. 1 minute. So this red patches is under the control of Mediterranean Sea. Okay. And then the dark patches is under the control of ISIS. This side you have Iraq. So in Iraq also ISIS is there, this territory. So this area is under the control of ISIS, Islamic State, ISIL or ISIS. Okay. So this red territory is under the control of Syrian government, Bashar al-Assad. The gray area is under the control of the rebel army, the Sunni Muslim army. The majority people are controlling the rebels are there, no? They are fighting against Bashar al-Assad. So they control this territory. 1 minute. So this is under the control of the rebel army. This is under the control of rebel army. Rebels means the Sunni Muslim army who are fighting against the Syrian government. The red patches are under the control of Syrian government. Yellow patches are under the control of Kurdish forces. Kurdish forces, just to wait for the discussion regarding Kurdish. This area and this area is under the control of ISIS. So this territory, this is Iraq. Iraq. So in Iraq also ISIS is available. In Syria also, that's why they are called Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, Islamic State of Iraq and Levant. This area is completely under the control of ISIS. So, and this area is under the control of Israel. Okay, just leave it. Israel also we are not discussing today. Okay, so this is the position of each and every group, and this area is under the control of Turkey. So let's split Turkey. See, Turkey is a Sunni Muslim country. They also want Bashar al-Assad to step down from power. Very simple. They also want Bashar al-Assad to step down from power. See, that day I said no. See, the boundary of Syria and with the other countries is like a straight line. Or today I said, how it can be a straight line? British people only created this kind of problem. That's why everywhere mixed population is there. Okay. So anyway, so this is the position of every country. Okay. So we'll move to the next slide. Okay. So in this, I have so 4 groups are there. These are all the groups who are fighting against parties who are involved in Syrian crisis. So first you have to note that you have this Bashar al-Assad. He is Bashar al-Assad, the president of Syria. So they are supported by Russia. And they have the complete support of Iran. Why? Means because Iran is a Shia. Bashar al-Assad is a Shia. And there is one more group called Hezbollah. Hezbollah is branded as a terrorist organization aided by Iran. Okay, it is a terrorist organization. Shia-based terrorist. Only terrorist organization which is Shia-based is Hezbollah. Hezbollah is getting complete support from Iran. So Hezbollah is supporting Bashar al-Assad. So Bashar al-Assad is getting the support from Russia, Iran and Hezbollah. Okay, so now I think you understand. They are the party number 1. Party number 1. Party number 2. Party number 2, you have the rebel army. They are called moderate rebels. Why moderate rebels? I will tell you shortly. Okay, they are rebels. They consist of Free Syrian Army. They are called Free Syrian Army. They are called Free Syrian Army. They formed a rebel army. A lot of people from Bashar al-Assad army defected. The Sunni Muslim population, they defected the National Syrian Army and they formed an opposite army. This is Free Syrian Army is the army of the Sunni Muslim population in Syria. And the Free Syrian Army is getting the support from US, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. Saudi, Qatar are Sunni Muslim powers. Okay. So, and they are fighting a war with Bashar al-Assad government. They are fighting a war with Bashar al-Assad government. So the Syrian government, they are supported by Russia, Iran and Hezbollah. Syrian government is fighting against the rebel group, the Sunni Muslim group. They formed Free Syrian Army. The Free Syrian Army is getting fund and arms from US, Saudi and Qatar. Okay, so I think you can understand this. And the third party is the Islamic State, ISIS, and other terrorist organizations who are in that particular group. The rebel army is fighting against Bashar al-Assad. Terrorist organizations also fighting against Bashar al-Assad because all the terrorist organizations are Sunni Muslims. So they don't want a Shia ruler. Only one terrorist organization belongs to ISIS. Belong to Shia group. Hezbollah is a Shia-based terrorist organization who is supported by Iran. They only support Bashar al-Assad. Other terrorist organizations who are Sunni-based, they are opposing Bashar al-Assad. So rebel want a change in regime. The terrorist organization also want change in regime. And note that the terrorist organization and the rebel organization also doesn't like each other. This is Sunni Muslims, the rebel army. This is Sunni rebel, Sunni terrorist group. This is Sunni rebel army. Can understand? They also doesn't like each other. They are also fighting with each other. That's why Syria is always a big problem. Full of confusion. That's why I said everybody are fighting with everyone. See now I have explained 3 parties. One is the government side, the Shia government side, the Alawites. They are getting the support from Russia, Iran and Israel. On the other side, you have the Free Syrian Army. Majority, that means they are Sunni Muslim army. They are getting the rebel army. They are getting the support from US, Qatar, and Saudi. And the third party, you have the terrorist organization. And among the terrorist organization, Islamic states are there. The ISIS, they are the biggest organization. Everybody they want to overthrow Bashar al-Assad because this is Shia, Sunni-based organization. This is the Shia government. So they wanted to overthrow Bashar al-Assad. And the rebel organization also wanted to overthrow Bashar al-Assad. Although both the parties have a common enemy, they doesn't like each other. Because ISIS want everyone to be under the control of a terrorist organization. All the Islamic nations, people of the world should come under the control of the terrorist organization. These people will not accept it because US is supporting them. No, US and terrorist organization doesn't like each other. Now coming to the fourth party, that is US camp. US is getting the US, Turkey, France, Britain, Saudi, Qatar. All these countries are supporting the rebels by giving money and also by giving arms. Now Trump is doing it. Okay. And then US is also fighting against terrorist organization. So that's why this issue becomes very, very complex. So can you able to understand? So four parties are there generally. One side you have this so one side, see all the questions you just you keep it for the end of the class. Okay. So one side, so only if there is an interruption in voice or video, you can ask me in chat now. Okay. Otherwise, no need to intervene. I will answer all the questions. I will show all the slides again if you want. Okay. So government is on one side, a Shia-based government supported by the Shia Iran, Shia Hezbollah, and also supported by Russia. Why Russia supports Syria? Already I have explained. On the other side, the Sunni Muslim, the majority population who formed a Free Syrian Army, they are getting the support from US, Saudi, Qatar. And the third group, the terrorist organization. So these three people doesn't like each other. That is the point. Everybody wanted to control Syria. Bashar al-Assad wanted to be the retain his leadership. This Sunni Muslim people, they wanted to get into power. This terrorist organization also wanted to get into power. The US and its allies, they are supporting the Sunni Muslim people and fighting against the terrorist organization. I will tell one if you wanted to enter one more segment, say again I am telling you. Within the terrorist organization also, they are fighting against each other. This terrorist organization doesn't like each other. This is another confusion. You can understand, okay? Why means because the problem is who is the biggest terrorist, that problem. IS is telling, I am the biggest guy. You all come under me. Al-Qaeda is there. A faction of Al-Qaeda is also there in that particular region. Al-Qaeda is telling, see, I am the father of all terrorist organizations. I am the pioneer. I am the number one terrorist. I am the ancient one. I am the old one. But Islamic State ISIS is telling, I am the powerful one. Like the Nusra Front, Jaish al-Fatah, this Agar al-Sham, these are all other terrorist organizations now. So everybody are fighting with everyone. So these two people are together. So these two, that means the rebel army and US and its allies on one side, terrorist organization on the other side, and Bashar al-Assad on the other side. Among the terrorist organization, they are having infight. They doesn't like each other, they will kill each other. Okay, if you want to add fuel into this mess, more I'll bring more people. There is this group is Kurdistan group. They fight against rebels. The Kurdish fight against Syria. The Kurdish also fight against terrorist organization. That's why it's a multi-facet fight going on in Syria. Okay, so again, leave Kurdish people for some time. Just to note these two Kurdish organization, YPG, PKK. Two Kurdish-based armed group. They are fighting for their own independence. Okay, so that's why this area is full of confusion. Okay, so what we will do is I will show you more maps. Then only you will understand. So leave Kurdistan as of now. Leave Kurdish people. So these are all the parties. Like this only you have to see in examination also. Instead of explaining, if you wanted to explain all these things, it will take 1 or 2 pages. Just to draw these 4 boxes and quote the name parties and who is fighting against whom, who is supporting against whom. Very simple. Like that you have to answer. Okay. So this map is there. Same map. Don't draw the map like this, but this map shows who are all the parties who is fighting against you. Okay. So first you see this is Syrian government. Syrian, so, and see who are all the parties involved. More people are coming. Russia is involved. Iraq is involved. Iran is also involved. US is involved. Turkey is involved. Saudi Arabia. So these are the 6 external parties who are involving in the Syrian civil war. Okay, 6 countries, 6 group of countries who are involving in the Syrian civil war. And what kind of support they are giving to the to whoever party they support? Military support, that means army, air force, finance support, diplomatic support, logistics. Dark line means full confrontation. Dotted line means partially they are fighting with each other. Partially they fight against each other. So first you take Syrian government. Syrian government is getting the support from Russia, Iraq, Iran. Iraq, they are Shia powers. That's why they support Syria. How Russia supports Syria? In terms of military, in terms of diplomatic. Iraq is supporting in terms of diplomatic. Iran is supporting in terms of military and in terms of diplomatic. So in this way, these groups are supporting the Syrian government. Just more information. No need to draw this. Just observe this. And the Syrian opposition for the Free Syrian Army, US, the Gulf countries, Saudi Arabian Gulf countries, and Turkey. US is supporting in terms of military, diplomacy, finance. Gulf country today is supporting in terms of finance. Turkey is supporting in terms of military and finance. Why Turkey government is supporting the opposition forces? The Turkey is a Sunni Muslim country today. They doesn't like Syria to be under the control of a Shia. That's why Turkey and Shia, that means Turkish government, the Erdogan, the president, doesn't like Bashar al-Assad. Very simple. And this is the ISIS. ISIS are getting the support from directly, indirectly, now or before, unofficially they are getting military support and finance support to ISIS. Because Saudi ISIS doesn't like each other today, but yet Saudi wanted to use ISIS to overthrow Syria. And Turkey is also supporting this terrorist organization in terms of finance and logistics. Finance and logistics. This is another terrorist organization who is getting the support from the Gulf countries and Turkey in terms of finance and logistics. And this is the Kurdish. Kurdish is a separate problem, but just I will quote here, and again we will discuss Kurdish later. Okay. See Kurdish. Why I am not bringing Kurdish? Because you see, US is there. US is supporting. Russia is supporting. Iran is also supporting Kurdish. Okay. So this is the beauty. Okay. So Kurdish. That's why I want Kurdish that discussion to be discussed in a separately. You can understand the Kurdish people. They are fighting against ISIS, fighting against other terrorist organizations. They also doesn't have good understanding with the Syrian opposition forces. And they are also fighting against Syrian government. They are fighting with everyone. Why means you will discuss that. Leave it. So here, see, between Syrian government and the opposition forces, Russia and US are on the opposite side. But with respect to support Kurdish population, Russia and US are on the same side. And again, with respect to Syria and the opposition forces, Iran, this is Iran and US are on the opposite side. But with respect to Kurdish population, Iran and US, they are supporting Kurdish population. That's why it's a big confusion. So let's leave. So so again, you forget this. Okay. So if you are thinking about this, means you will not understand. So now a 3-phased war is going on generally. One side you have the opposition forces, the Sunni Muslim people, the government forces, the Shia Alawites, supported by Iran and Russia. Other side you have terrorist organization. They directly, indirectly, they are getting the support from the Sunni Muslim forces because Sunni Muslim terrorist organizations are there. So this is another picture. Okay. Okay. Again, I will show you more diagram because it's confusing. No? I'll show you more diagrams for easy understanding. See. So here, 3 camps are there. Very simple. 3 camps are there. One is US camp. Another one is Russia camp. This is Syria. 3 camps. So this dark black line means supporting. Dotted line means fighting against each other. Very simple. See what US wants, you see, what US wants, US thinks Syria's president Bashar al-Assad should be removed from power. So this is what US and its allies want. And for doing this, US is supporting the moderate rebel groups. US is supporting the moderate rebel groups. Who are the moderate rebel groups? The Syrian opposition for the Free Syrian Army. Okay. So sometimes you can say they are also militant organization, terrorist organization, but they have the approval of US. That's why they call them as good moderate rebels. And come to this side. What Russia wants? Russia wants Bashar al-Assad to remain in power. US want Bashar al-Assad to be removed. Russia wants Bashar al-Assad to remain in power. And what Russia have done? It bombarded some of the moderate rebels. Other day I said no, that in 2016 during the Geneva peace talks, Russia attacked the rebel groups, the Sunni Muslim population. Why? Because they are going against Russia's favorite, Bashar al-Assad. And within Syria, you see, this is Syrian government, terrorist organization, rebel groups. All are fighting with each other. Rebel and Islamic State or the terrorist organization also fighting with each other. So US is supporting the rebel group. US is fighting against Islamic State. And US indirectly fighting against the Syrian government through these rebel groups. On the other side, Russia is fully supporting Syrian government, fighting against Islamic State, fighting against rebel groups. So this is Syrian camp. What is going on in Syria? Like this, you have to draw. This is very simply, now we can understand. US on one side, Russia on the other side. In US, who are all there in with the US? The Gulf countries, Qatar, Turkey are there in US side with respect to Syria. Who are all there in Russia side? Iran, Iraq, the Shia people are with Russian side. They are supporting Syrian government. And Russia doesn't like Islamic State. US also doesn't like Islamic State. Rebel and Islamic State, they are fighting with each other. Rebels, they want Syrian government to be overthrown. Islamic State, they want Syrian government to be overthrown. See, Turkey, Kurdish people, just leave it for now, okay? Turkey, why Turkey is on US, they doesn't want Syrian government. They want Syrian government to be overthrown. Why? Because Syrian government is a Shia. Bashar al-Assad is a Shia. Turkey is a Sunni Muslim. This is the reason. I think you understand. Okay. So I'll show you more diagrams, don't worry. Okay. So see, you have to be very clear in this. If you are very clear in this means, if you read any, so don't ask questions now. Is there any interruption? See, Islamic State means ISIS and other terrorist organizations. See, don't ask questions. You see, unless there is a problem in video, audio, don't interrupt me. Okay. You can wait for the end of the class. I will give you enough time. Okay. If you have any problem, then you come to the chat. Okay. So this is the understanding. This is the understanding. Okay. So US camp, Russian camp. For all in US camp, you put it in one side. Russian camp on other side. In the middle, Syria. In Syria, three parties are directly involved. For all the three parties, Syria, the Sunni Muslim opposition, and the terrorist organization. They are fighting against each other. US and Russia from outside, they are intervening in this. So this is Syria now. I'll show you more maps, don't worry. More for more understanding. So in this cartoon, you see ISIS, US, and the rebel organization. They wanted to overthrow Syria, but who is guarding Syria? Russia, big Russia. Big Russia is called Bear, Big Bear. Russia is guarding Syria. That's why the ISIS, the Americans, and the rebel organization, the Free Syrian Army, and other rebel groups, they are not in a position to overthrow Bashar al-Assad because Russia is guarding Syria. This is one understanding. Okay. And the other, I'll show you one more. And this is Bashar al-Assad. Who is giving life to Bashar al-Assad? Putin. So Bashar al-Assad, because of Bashar al-Assad only, because of Putin, Russia only, Syria is alive. The Bashar al-Assad is alive. Otherwise, he will die. But Western country comment to this as he is a Frankenstein monster. He is killing his own people. But the position of Bashar al-Assad is different. What Bashar al-Assad's position is, Bashar al-Assad, if he stepped down from power, means his group, 11% of the population, Alawites, will be wiped off from them. So everybody are for themselves. That is the understanding. So Russia supports Bashar al-Assad. So this is another understanding. And adding fuel to this is Israel. Israel and Syria doesn't like each other for some other reason that we'll discuss in some other class. So Israel also immediately wanted to enter this Syrian problem. So immediately what Russia did is Russia sold all the anti-defense missiles to Syria, and Russia is guarding Syria. That's why Israel is now not directly involving in the war. It is aloof. It is not involving in the war. So Israel have some concern, some problem regarding Syria, because Syrian government is getting the support from Hezbollah, a terrorist organization. For Israel, Hezbollah is a big threat. That is the reason Israel is having interest in Syria. Okay. So Israel, as of now, is waiting outside. That means the sharks are surrounding that particular area. Anytime they may attack. But they are not attacking because who is guarding Syria? Russia. Again, Russia is guarding Syria. And then in this game, this is US. US is losing everything in Syria. What is the meaning of this particular? So here, who are all the people? See, the Syrian civil war is like a poker game. The Hezbollah, Putin, Bashar al-Assad, the Islamic leaders of Iran, they are gaining everything. US, who is the #1 superpower, is losing everything in this particular game. See, what is the meaning means? See, earlier what happened in Iraq in 2001, US doesn't like Iraqi President Saddam Hussein. What US did? US simply put a blame that some terrorist, some nuclear bombs are being produced in Iraq. We have to stop it. So US Army unilaterally, without consulting anyone, entered Iraq, overthrown Iraqi government, killed Saddam Hussein, and established a US-friendly government there in Iraq, and then they came back. But with respect to Syria, same US doesn't like Bashar al-Assad government. Then why US is not directly entering into Syria and overthrow Bashar al-Assad? Because Bashar al-Assad is having a mighty friend. Who is that? Russian Putin. Okay, so until this particular Syrian episode, world was unipolar. See, during the Cold War, world was bipolar, two poles: Russia, Soviet Union, and US. And Soviet Union disintegrated. World became unipolar. And now what happened is, after this episode, US power is coming down. That is that now also US is #1, but US cannot do anything in Syria alone. That is the understanding. Earlier, US dictated international politics. Now the position is US cannot dictate international politics. Other players are also strong. Russia in Syrian episode, they have shown that they have again come back. Now they are telling that we are also like Soviet Union. We are also a powerful country. See, why I am telling this? Because when US wanted to take action against Bashar al-Assad, while Bashar al-Assad used chemical weapons against his people, that when they passed a resolution in United Nations. But what Russia did? Russia blocked this. Russia put veto on that particular resolution, did not allow United Nations and the US to take direct action against Syria. In return, Russia directly pressurized the Syrian government to please dismantle all the chemical weapons. Like that, the problem was solved. So the position of US today is US cannot do anything on its own today. This shows that US power is coming down. So for US, for the first time after 1990, in the new Russia, first time directly is confronting US in the Syrian episode. So this clearly shows that US power is coming down, and this Russian power is coming up. This is the understanding. Okay. Can you all be able to understand this? I think we can stop here, okay? Because a lot of questions will be there. Definitely, I know that definitely a lot of questions will be there. We will continue the next step. Actually, I'm going very slow. I have to complete the entire West Asia in 2 classes. So this is the third West Asia class. But anyway, we have a lot of time. We'll take time. No problem. Okay, we will ask. Now what I will do is I will allow you to ask questions. Okay. One minute. So first, Pavitra.
Hello.
Yes, Pavitra. Yes.
Hi, good afternoon, Ji.
Good afternoon.
Last
Yes.
class, I asked you a question regarding why the Saudi is not attacking this terrorist organization ISIL, even though they don't like each other at this scenario. You said that we will have to discuss about Syria before answering that question.
We have not discussed that, but anyway, I'm telling Saudi Arabia is using those organizations against Bashar al-Assad. That's all. So they are usually again, see, terrorist organization, Saudi, they are enemies. They are not allies. But at the same time, they have a common enemy called Bashar al-Assad. So they are using the terrorist organization against their enemy. Very simple.
Now they are just not funding them, but not killing them also, like that.
No. Saudi Arabia is not directly attacking ISIS. But Saudi Arabia is not supporting ISIS. Because because ISIS is striking Bashar al-Assad, no? So Saudi Arabia is happy. My enemy number 1 is killing is fighting against my enemy number 2.
Okay.
Why I have to go and eliminate enemy number 1? I want Bashar al-Assad to be eliminated. Can you understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Then Vignesh.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, what is the European countries' interest over Syria, sir? Why they helping US?
See, West European countries are with US. They are NATO powers, no? They doesn't like Russia, so they are with US. They are supporting US. That's all. Very simple. They are all NATO. They are all together.
So for that reason,
North Atlantic Treaty Organization is a security treaty between the Atlantic Ocean rim countries, particularly US, Canada, and the West European countries. Okay, they doesn't like Russia.
okay, sir. So,
yes.
And my following question is Europe? Actually, is Europe? Is US showing interest over Syria means to showing its supremacy over the world countries, or is there any other interest over Syria?
Already, we have discussed. I have answered this already. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Wait. US arch enemy is Russia. Russia is a strong country because Russia have access to Mediterranean Sea. To cut down Russia's access to Mediterranean Sea, US is involving in Syrian crisis. Very simple. Both are in opposite side. Can you understand?
Okay, sir. Can you elaborate? Can you elaborate about the naval port in Syria, sir? How did Russia acquire that naval port, sir?
They have not acquired. See, 2 friends are there. If you are my friend, means I will allow you to come to my home. You can stay in one of my room in my house. What is the problem in that? So Syria and Russia are friends. So Syria is allowing Russia to keep a naval base in Syrian port. Russia needs Syria, Syria needs Russia. So that's why they have a mutual understanding. Very simple.
So only through mutual understanding only Russia established their port, not with any agreement.
So mutual understanding means by some kind of agreement with Bashar al-Assad government. If Bashar al-Assad government comes down, means the agreement is gone.
Okay, sir.
Bashar al-Assad wanted to survive, no?
Okay, sir.
Strong guy, but he's a strong guy because of Putin. So in order to maintain the friendship with Russia, Bashar al-Assad is allowing Russia to retain its naval base in Syrian port in Mediterranean Sea.
Okay, sir. Okay, I understand, sir. So it is completely different from the China-Sri Lanka port issue. Is no, sir.
Leave China from this.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
My another question is regarding a newspaper. Can I ask it now?
No, not now. Other students are waiting. You can wait and ask at the last.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Mageshwar.
Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes.
Sir, you said about this Hezbollah backed by Iran, which is a terrorist organization, as well as ISIS backed by Turkey and Saudi Arabia. How can a terrorist organization be backed by countries? Because it is said to be a terrorist organization, it should be
So this is what all Indians ask. But the point is, all the West Asian countries, they directly, indirectly support some terrorist organization for their own benefit. See, terrorist organization means don't immediately brand them as the enemy of the humankind, enemy of the entire world.
Okay.
Hezbollah is a militant group.
Okay.
Created by Iran.
Okay.
Iran uses this Hezbollah for some purpose.
Okay, sir.
For Iran, Hezbollah is not a terrorist organization. For Russia, Hezbollah is not a terrorist organization. But for Saudi, Israel, and other Sunni Muslims, Hezbollah is a terrorist organization.
Okay.
That I explained. Burhanwani, for us, is a terrorist guy. For Pakistan, he is a national hero.
Oh.
I will take one more example. Bhagat Singh is a national hero for us.
Okay.
Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
But how British people will brand Bhagat Singh? For Bhagat Singh, according to British, he is a terrorist guy who threw bombs in parliament.
Okay.
He is a terrorist, but we are supporting Bhagat Singh, no?
Yes, sir.
So can you understand? Okay, terrorist means immediately don't brand them that as bad people. See, terrorist people means they are using violence in a proxy way. US is also a terrorist. US is also using its military to kill people. Means, see, you can use straight method to kill people. Indirect, we should not. We will not allow indirect method to kill people. Means, both are same only in my point of view.
Okay.
If you suppose so that this is the problem with defining what is terrorism. Terrorism means it should be like this. Somebody kills another, he is a terrorist. Then it is easy. Using regular army, you can kill people, but using irregular army, you should not kill people. So this is the definition which is given by the Western countries.
Okay, sir. Okay.
LTT Prabhakaran is a hero to Tamil people. For Sinhalese people, he is a villain. Very simple.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, and I have one more question also. What is India's role in Syria, sir? What is India's position?
India doesn't do anything regarding Syria, but India have some intention that you have to tell me after the end of the class. I will not tell you. First, you have to, or tomorrow I will give you a question. You try it in home.
Okay, sir.
Then I will tell you my answer. Okay. So India directly is not involving in Syrian crisis because big shots are fighting with each other.
Okay.
We don't have that much muscle to go and intervene like that.
But we should take some general policy whether we back Bashar.
So tomorrow I will give you a question and you try to answer, or I will ask the people to post a question to your group. Okay, you try to answer, and then you people find out, and then we will discuss this in the next class.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And then Revati.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
Sir, you told that the interest of US in Syria is because of the presence of Russia. They have to, it's a part of their Cold War, right?
Yes.
Sir?
Yes. Correct.
So the second reason we can state for that presence of US is its democratic policy. Can we infer like that?
Yeah. So like that. See. Can you give me an answer? Is democracy the solution for all problems? In one particular country, some internal problem. Two group of people are fighting with each other. Man, the medicine for all world problem is democracy. This is what US is telling.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened in Iraq now? US installed a democratic government. Now Iraq is looking like a hell. Democracy only spoiled everything. See, democracy is good in certain countries. It needs certain condition. Okay. If people are well educated, if people are politically aware, people are very politically active, that democracy will work nicely. In India, just for one bottle and biryani packet, people are voting for some people. 500 rupees, they are selling their vote. Democracy is not working very finely, but democracy is working okay in India. We can't say that democracy is a failure. but it's not working nicely. See, so somebody is giving you 500 rupees, you are putting a vote to that particular person. Means people are selling ourselves. That is the understanding. So if this is the case in India, means in West Asian countries, you have to note that people are, in terms of education, in terms of awareness, lot of internal feuds are there. In that circumstances, how can you go for a democracy? See, what happened in Iraq? Because of democracy, the majority people, they now have power. They are discriminating the minorities and Muslim. How can you accept that? See, you have to accommodate everyone. Okay. So for democracy, Western countries will work nicely. India partially working. West it is not working. This is my opinion.
Okay. So second doubt is you told about Israel
Yes.
get threat from Hezbollah.
Hezbollah, yes.
I was not that clear, not clear about that link.
So in one line I will answer. We will discuss Israel-Palestine in detail later. See, Israel is fighting against Palestinian people in Israel-Palestine area. Hezbollah is supporting the Palestinian people. Very simple. So Israel doesn't like Hezbollah, but Hezbollah is aided by Iran. Iran is supporting Syria. So now I think everything is clear. So Hezbollah, Syrian government, Iran on one side, and Palestinian people on one side. Israel doesn't like they are fighting against the Palestinian people, no? A part of Palestinian people. See, for this you need more explanation. We will come later. Okay.
So
yes.
one more doubt, sir.
Yes.
So you told in 2001, U.S. entered Iraq to overthrow the Saddam Hussein without any consent. Is it so, sir? Without any consent from the UN itself, UN also?
See, by the time world was unipolar. That's what I said. During the Cold War, two people are big shots. See, in one village, two big shots are there. Means one will check over the other. But one big shot died. Only one rowdy is there in that particular area. Means whatever he say, that is the rule. Like that, it was dictated terms, international relation, politics for nearly 10-15 years.
Okay.
But the situation changed after Syrian episode. In Syrian episode, US again wanted to change that, but Russia came and openly blocked the US.
Okay, sir.
So without, see, if you are a very strong guy, means you can do anything you want in this country. See, if you are a big shot, you are a very strong guy. You can fight anyone. You are having lot of money. Means what you will do? Whatever problem there is there in your street or in your area, you will go and intervene.
Okay, sir.
Unilaterally, without consulting anyone, unilaterally you can do anything. Nobody can challenge you.
Okay.
How Russia is challenging back. That is the understanding.
So we can infer that presence of Russia in Syria can be the re-emergence of
Russia. Yes, that is the important effect of the Syrian episode. The difference of the Syrian war is Russia is coming back. US is going down. That is the understanding. That means US earlier it was only sole single power. But US cannot do whatever it wants. That is the understanding.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. That's all. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Then Stevenson.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Stevenson.
Sir, my doubt is you showed the map, right, sir, regarding the ISIS occupied areas. So I could infer that ISIS occupied areas in Iraq and Syria where the Sunnis were in majority. So the ethnic cleansing was done on the Shia, which was a minority there. So
yes,
it could not be treated as a clear victory, right, sir?
No, in certain areas they have done it, but before that the Iraqi government they are opposing this. No, ISIS now has reduced to the minimum. So in certain area where ISIS is done, they killed all the Shia people.
Okay, sir. And I don't know whether the following questions is coming under today's class because I have doubt regarding the first class, sir. First, that Panchashil principle. So can I ask?
Yes. You ask me. Yes.
Sir, is India's Panchashil principle keeping it away from all the West Asia's politics? Could that be inferred, sir?
No. See, some people will be there. They always, I am a good person. But a good person, I won't intervene in everything. I will look after my job alone. Like that people will say, but they will intervene. Like that, India to the world, it is a principle. Panchashila is a principle. Principle means the ideals which India follows. So India, one of the Indian ideal is non-violence. Do you think that India is following non-violence?
Oh.
Like that, it is a principle just to safeguard ourselves, to explain ourselves. That's all. Okay. So India is following Panchashila principle, but India closely follows West Asian politics.
And final doubt is when you said about Mongolia, sir, it was rich in the uranium. So, but I also saw in it that Mongolia is a nuclear-free area. That is, they won't promote nuclear weapons. So, in that case, would they provide uranium for the development of nuclear weapons to India, sir? Would that be done?
Okay. I will answer this. This is a very good question. The point is, India never. We can't access, import nuclear reactor, nuclear technology, and nuclear raw material for military purpose. We can do it only for civil purpose, that is for peaceful purpose. If Mongolia is a peace-loving country, it is a nuclear-free zone. If Mongolia is selling its nuclear raw material to India, we are giving a guarantee to Mongolia. In the contract, the number one principle will be, we will not use this for military purpose. We will use it only for civil purpose, for producing current, for using in medicine, for using in engineering, or for in agriculture, like that. Other applications of nuclear technology, we are using it for the benefit of the human community, not for the destruction of human community. This is the principle. For this, in a separate class, we will discuss India and the world regarding nuclear technology. So we are having a separate session.
Okay, right. Thank you so much.
My answer. Okay, can you understand?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Only for peaceful purpose. Very simple. That's the
Thank
answer.
you so much, sir.
Okay. Then Varsha.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Varsha. Yes.
Sir, can you tell me what is meant by proportional representation by means of single transferable votes, sir?
Okay. So this needs a calculation. If I come for see that day we have not discussed that, no? See,
yes,
representation means it will take time. Okay, so what we'll do in some other session we'll do it, or you contact me in Telegram. I will do something. Okay, it will take time. Minimum 15 days, 15 minutes it will take. Okay. So we'll deal this in some other time, or you just message me in Telegram. I will answer.
Okay, sir.
Later, not now. Yes. Yes, Carmen then.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
Sir, what makes maintaining that much important on?
See,
because Iran
see,
has...
no. See, so you are having a shop. Okay,
okay, sir.
You are having a shop in a remote place. You are
okay, sir.
a shop in a main road. You are having a shop. In the scenario, you are having a shop in the junction, the roundana. So which will be popular?
And it's a roundana.
Like that, this maintenance is a roundana. Very simple. You can access Europe, Africa, and Asia. Junction. The interjunction of the three places. Okay, so that makes maintenance very popular. Very simple. I think you got the answer.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, another one regarding what's about the interest of Syrian people in this church, sir? We talk about other parties. What about the Syrian people in this church?
See, Syrian people, they were living peacefully. When you allow external forces, means they create problem among the people. So the rule at 11% of the population, you have to know that they are supporting Bashar al-Assad.
Okay, sir.
59% of the population, they are supporting the opposition.
Okay, sir.
Because now, see, actually, without knowing all this politics, because Saudi Arabia said these people revolted against their own government. The Syrian government thought that these are all, they did not think that these are all his own people. The 60% of the population only revolted against Bashar al-Assad. But ultimately, Bashar al-Assad is the president of all the people. But he did not see like that. He thought that the people who are revolting against Bashar al-Assad are all his enemies, and they are the agents of Saudi Arabia. That's why he used that means force, violence against his own people. when the government began to kill the people, all the relatives, friends, community members, everybody turned against Bashar al-Assad. This is what happened.
Okay. Okay, sir. Sir, and I have a doubt regarding optional. Can I wait at
You
last?
ask at the last, okay?
Sir, I wait.
Okay. Yes, Jayashree.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Sir?
Murli Krishna. So, two people are enabled. Okay. First, Murli Krishna. What is your question? Yes. என்னப்பா லாக்டவுன்ல எங்கப்பா டிராபிக் உள்ள அடிக்கிறீங்க?
Sir, can you explain me about the Ladakh Brahmi peace plan, sir?
See, two people are fighting with each other. So UN sent a peace mission. Why are you fighting? Why can't you live peacefully? But people did not listen. That's all. Very simple.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Ladakh Brahmi was sent by United Nations. But Ladakh Brahmi plan failed. Like Kofi Annan. Very simple.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes, Lenovo 850M.
Hi, sir. Sir, can
Yes.
you please explain me the origin of ISIS, because I'm quite confused, because is that was ISIS formed only because Shia came in power in Iraq, or
See, 1 minute.
hello?
Yes. See, actually, in Iraq, see this map.
Yeah.
Can you able to see this map? In
Yes, sir.
Iraq was under the control of Saddam Hussein.
Yes, sir.
Saddam Hussein is a Sunni Muslim leader.
Mm-hmm.
He was fighting against Iran and he was discriminating the majority Shia population.
Okay.
He first overthrown the Sunni Muslim rule and installed a democratic government. Knowingly, unknowingly, Shias came to power in Iraq because of US action. So now Sunni Muslims, they lost all their privilege, power, political power, post, etc. Because the Shia government is giving all the benefits only to the Shia people. So Sunni resistant movement started. A lot of groups fought against. They began to fight against the Iraqi government. One such group is ISIS.
Okay. So then why Saudi Arabia being Sunni, they're not supporting, I mean, they're indirectly supporting, then why they're not openly supporting ISIS? Because anyway, ISIS
Earlier, yes. ISIS is fighting against Iraqi government. This is what Saudi wants. But earlier, with the help of Saudi only, they developed it. But once ISIS became a big organization, they are not listening to Saudi Arabia. See, why Saudi Arabia want change in regime? Because why Saudi is fighting against Iran? That, if you understand, means problem is solved. Saudi wanted to be the leader of the all Islamic community in the world.
Okay.
85% of the Sunni Muslim population accept Saudi's leadership, but they are not ready to accept. That means Iran population, the 50% Shia population are not ready to accept Saudi.
Okay. So even ISIS main motive is to dominate the entire region also?
Yes. Entire region, step by step only they have to move forward. No? First Syria, then Iraq, then Iran, and worldwide caliphate. So Saudi Arabia cannot become the leader. ISIS will become the leader. So that's why Saudi and ISIS now fighting against each other.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. And then Stephen. One minute.
Okay.
See, anybody is in line? Actually, Stefan. Actually, it's responding very slow. Yes. Stephen, yes? One minute. Yes, Supriyo.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yes.
Yes, sir. Actually, means I was just wondering, means what is the means how much Panchsheel is applicable in this means international politics? I just want to know. Suppose in Panchsheel there is a principle that
non-interference.
Non-interference from other sectors. So means how is Panchsheel applicable in today's world?
See, the point is Panchashil is a principle. See, when I was small boy, I have a principle that I will not tell lies.
Okay.
When you ask me, means I will say that I have a principle that I won't tell lies. But is it practical?
No.
Like that, Panchashil is such a principle. It is an idealistic principle, not practical one. But we have that principle, a moral principle. Normally, we won't intervene in anybody's affairs. This is my principle. But if some interest is there, means I will do it. Very simple.
Okay, so Panchasheel is means kind of much
name. It is an idealistic, just for namesake it is there. We are intervening in Nepal, we are intervening in Bangladesh, we are intervening in Pakistan, we are intervening in Sri Lanka. We are in China.
Okay.
And give a big list, yes.
Okay, so in today's world, we are not following means that Panchasheel principle.
Don't say that. See, again, now you ask me, means I never will say that I will always tell lies. My principle is I will not tell lies. But if required means I will do it. Like that, India always will say that I am following Panchasheel. But in action, actually, it will never follow. This is the understanding.
Okay, that is diplomacy.
You can't say outside, no. See, I am a good person. If you ask me, means whether I am a good person or not, means I will always say that I am a good person. That doesn't 100% I will do only good things. There may be certain circumstances where I have to do some bad things, but I will not reveal this outside. But my principle is doing good things, like that. It is a principle that, so you understand the word principle. Principle. This is my guidelines.
It's a basic framework, if I have to say it, right, sir? It's a basic framework. If I have to put it like this way, Panchasheel is a basic framework of our foreign policy, right, sir?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. But we do everything in our own interests diplomatically, right?
Yes, so already I said, a country's foreign affairs is all about the national interest of the country. The moral terms and all not applicable in international relations. You can do anything.
Okay, sir.
So you see, China invaded India. That's why our 20 soldiers killed. We also killed people, no? Chinese soldiers. So how you are judging? How you are justifying the killing of other population, other people?
That is, hurting our persons, right?
That depend upon the circumstances.
Including upon our sovereignty. That's right.
Yes. So to protect yourself, you can do anything. That is the understanding.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And then, Karvenan. Yes, Karvenan.
Yes, sir. Regarding option, I wait for the last.
Okay. Then you please wait. Ravichandran. it's taking time to mute and unmute. Okay, so just wait. Ravichandran. Ravichandran, is it audible? No.
So can you hear me, sir?
Yes, Ravichandran, yes.
Sir, bilateral relation lessons, any NCERT books are covered, sir?
No. Bilateral relation will be covered only in newspaper.
Newspaper.
Yes. So these are all the basic things which will be helpful for reading newspaper. That's all. Okay. So what are the things which are going to come from today till the examination only will come in the examination.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Dynamic area.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
This is the background. That's it. Okay.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Jayashree.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
So I just wanted to know about the peace talks.
Yes.
So the 4 peace talks where they generals, there are so many disputes going on in Syria. It's clumsy, and the peace talks were to generally settle all those disputes, or were they particular about the civil war between the Bashar government versus the rebels? They wanted to settle it particularly, or it was general peace talks to settle the overall dispute, sir?
See, there is nothing called overall dispute. Bashar al-Assad. Only one problem is there in Syria.
Okay, sir.
US, Saudi, and its allies, they want Bashar al-Assad to step down.
Okay, sir.
On the other side, Iran, the Shia people, Russia, they want Bashar al-Assad to remain in power.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
This is the one-line problem of Syria.
Okay, sir.
This problem only, they are calling all the parties who are involved in this problem. Because lot of parties are there. I have shown lot of parties. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Discuss more. Okay. So all peace talks, one party will say that Bashar al-Assad, you step down from power. We will become peace. Bashar al-Assad will say that no, I will not step down from power. You don't create problem.
So all the 4 talks were they did not end up in a good solution, right, sir?
No solution. Yes. Peace talk now going on, more than 20-25 rounds have gone. Nothing happened.
Okay, sir. So another doubt is that when Saddam, it's about Iraq, sir. When Saddam Hussein used chemical weapons against his own people in Iraq, sanctions were imposed, right, sir?
Yes.
So then US intervened and they established a democratic government. So what will happen to the sanctions now, sir? Will they be withdrawn slowly? Will they be withdrawn?
See, once the regime is down, automatically sanction also will down.
Okay, sir.
Very simple.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Did not went against the international order. So when sanction is no more, sanction also no more.
Okay, sir. That's what was my doubt, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Lalit Kumar.
Sir, my doubt is, in present situation, that Iran has influence over Mediterranean Sea, sir?
See, I am not telling it is influence. First access, then influence. So Iran has
access now, sir.
Now it has access because all the people are Shia people only.
So even though there is a crisis in Syria now, sir.
See, who is supporting Bashar al-Assad government?
Shia Muslims, sir.
Iran. Shia means Iran. So they have access to Syria, yes.
Sir, you said US have access over the Mediterranean Sea, sir.
US.
Yes, sir. Yes. On this basis only, it is called a superpower, sir.
Yes. See, US allies are there in Mediterranean Sea. So US influence is there on Mediterranean Sea. So that's why it is also called a. See, US is a superpower for many reasons. This is one such reason.
Sir, another one doubt, sir.
Yes.
Yesterday, in newspaper, I come across news, sir, that Indian-born Shia reformer has passed away, sir. It is important to Shia reformer. Born Shia reformer, sir.
Indian-born Shia reformer.
Sir, passed away. He died like that news, sir. It is important to read that latest news, sir.
No, for UPSC purpose, not required. Just note that what is his contribution. I don't know the name of the person and his contribution. Then only we can answer. So just search him in the Wikipedia. What is his contribution?
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
I don't know what is the person's name. I don't know. Based on the content.
Okay, thanks.
Vishnu Priya.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes.
So, what's the role of Europe in this Syria's crisis, sir? European countries?
See, West European countries. I am telling that France, Germany, those people. I am telling
Yes,
European countries. They are all members in NATO. US is also a member in NATO. What US wants, they are US means along with NATO only they are doing everything in Syria.
But they are not directly involved, sir.
Directly involved. NATO force consists of all the US, France, England forces.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And then Fajar Sadiq.
Hello?
Yes, Sadiq, yes.
How the ISIS forms in Iraq, sir?
How?
The ISIS terrorist group form in Iraq. They basically form in Syria, but...
No. ISIS belongs to both Syria. They are living in Syria, Iraq border. Okay. Their stronghold is Syria, Iraq border. Name itself it is there. Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. That is called ISIS.
ISIS,
okay. So initially, what happened is they are the people who were discriminated by the new Shia government in Iraq. Okay, so they wanted to again to come to power. For that they were fighting. So later they became a terrorist organization. So militant group is different from terrorist. Militant group means you are fighting against the government using arms. They are called militants. Terrorist means you are involving in sabotage activity, killing innocent population, damaging property, etc. Earlier, ISIS was a militant group. Now they have become the world's biggest terrorist group. Yes, Jay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Jay.
Sir,
please.
my doubt is from the current affairs, sir, which is going between the India and China border.
See, your voice is not clear. See, voice is not clear. Lot of.
Now, sir.
Not clear.
Hello, sir. Am I clear now, sir?
See, echo adikudpa. Konjam.
Sir, my doubt is regarding. One minute, sir.
Echo adikudhu. Illana feedback varudhu. Adhan problem.
இப்போ ஓகேவா சார்?
ஓகே சொல்லுங்க.
சார், இப்போ இந்தியா சைனா பார்டர் இஷ்யூஸ் லைக் ஆல்வான்ல நடந்தது இல்ல சார்? அதுல வந்து கவர்மெண்ட் சார்பில் வந்து எதுக்கு இந்த இது பிரச்சனை போச்சு, ஏன் இறந்தாங்கன்னு அதை பத்தி தெளிவா சொல்ல சார். ஆனா நியூஸ் பேப்பர்ஸ்ல கால்வான்ல அந்த இதனால அப்படின்னு போட்டிருக்கு சார். ஆனா கவர்மெண்ட் சொல்லாததுனால நம்ம அதை எப்படி சார் எடுத்துக்கிறது?
இல்ல, கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து என்ன சொல்லுவோம், நமக்கு வந்து ஒரு பேட் இமேஜ் மாதிரி ஆயிடுச்சுல. இதை வந்து எப்படி கவர்மெண்ட் அவனே பப்ளிசிட்டி பண்ணுவான். ஸோ கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து ஒயிட் பேப்பர் சொல்லுவாங்க, ஓப்பனா சில விஷயத்த சொல்லும், சில விஷயத்த சொல்லாது. Something bad happened means it will create a bad name for the government. That's why government normally will not openly say anything. Okay, government, China government சுத்தமா சொல்லல, இந்தியன் கவர்மெண்ட் பார்சல கொஞ்சம் லீக் அவுட் பண்ணிருச்சு. சைனால வந்து மீடியாலயும் சொல்லாதுன்னு சொல்லி இது பண்ணிட்டாங்க. ஓகேவா? வேற क्वेश्चंस இருக்கா?
இல்ல சார், வேற.
ஓகே. கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து ரிவீல் பண்ணாது, நியூஸ் வந்து ப்ராப்பரா ரிவீல் பண்ணாது, இல்லனா ப்ராப்பரா பண்ணாது. எது சொன்னாலும் அப்படியே பேக் ஃபயர் ஆயிடும். அதுக்காக
ஹிந்துல வரதே சோசா எடுத்துக்கலாம்ல சார்?
அவ்வளவுதான், ஹிந்துல வரதே எடுத்துங்க. அவ்வளவுதான், மீடியால சொன்னாங்கன்னு சொல்லி எழுதும் போது மீடியால அப்படி வந்ததுன்னு சொல்லி எழுதிருங்க. அவ்வளவுதான், கவர்மெண்ட் சொன்னாங்க என்ன எப்படி எழுதிங்க. அவ்வளவுதான். விஷ்ணு பிரியா. Yes, Vishnu Priya. Okay. Then Sivamuthu Kumar.
ஹலோ சார்.
எஸ்
சார், இந்த ரீசெண்டா ஈரான்ல நாட்டோ ஃபோர்சஸ் வந்து அமெரிக்காவுக்கு எதிராக நடந்ததா கேள்விப்பட்டேன் சார்.
எதிரியா இல்ல, அவங்கலாம் ஒரே குரூப். எங்கம்மா
சார், இப்போ ரீசெண்டா வந்து அமெரிக்கா வந்து ஈரான் மேல கொஞ்சம் விதி வச்சாங்களா சார்?
ஆமா.
அத வந்து நாட்டோ ஃபோர்சஸ் எல்லாமே எதிர்த்தாங்க. அவங்க தனியா எல்லாரும் ஒரு அக்ரிமெண்ட் மாதிரி போட்டுட்டாங்க.
ஆமா, நம்ம அதை டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணல இன்னும். அது நம்ம நெக்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ்ல தான் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணணும். ஈரான் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணும்போது இந்த ஈரான் மேல யுஎஸ் எடுக்கிற ஆக்ஷன்ஸ் அந்த அதர் நேட்டோ மெம்பர்ஸ்க்கு பிடிக்கல. அதான் மேட்டர்.
அது ஈரானுக்காக மட்டுமா சார், இல்ல அமெரிக்கா?
நோ, ட்ரம்ப் அவனுக்குமே பிடிக்காது, அவ்வளவுதான். அவன் எல்லாமே ஒண்ணு சொல்றது ஒண்ணு செய்யறது ஒண்ணு மாத்தி பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காருல்ல, அதனால கடுப்படிச்சாங்க. யூரோப்பியன் கண்ட்ரிஸ்க்கும் யூஎஸ்க்கும் ஒரு ஒரு லைட்டா ஒரு விரிசல் இருக்கு. நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுவோம், நெக்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ்ல டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுவோம்.
ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே,
அதான் சார். थैंक यू சார்.
எஸ் வருண்.
Hello, sir.
So this is Siddika. Yaar is it?
It's Fajr.
Yes,
Fajr.
Sadiq, sorry, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Can you say once more, sir, how the ISIS
how ISIS is formed?
The Iraq.
See, ISIS earlier the government was a Sunni Muslim government.
Yeah.
Okay, Shia, the majority people were discriminated, but because of US interference, now Shia is in power. Now Sunni Muslim did not enjoy anything, so Sunni Muslims, they are fighting back. One such group is ISIS, the group which is fighting against the Shia government in Iran. They are ISIS. Earlier they were military. Later they have become a big organization, terrorist organization.
Okay, sir. One more question, sir. How
Yes.
the ISIS forms in Iraq, sir? This basically in Syria. Then how to spread in Iraq?
I have answered this. ISIS, Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. Both the countries, they are there.
Okay, sir.
So they are in the borders. Okay, they are in the borders.
Okay. The ISIS basic support peoples are minority in Sunni Muslim people, sir.
They are the major. See, in Iraq they are minority, but in Syria they are majority Sunni Muslims.
Okay, sir. Okay.
ISIS
Thank you, sir.
belongs to the Sunni Muslim, which is 85% of the world population. ISIS hate Shia. That's the problem.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, Varun.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, may I know what is the actual reason for the West European countries to back USA?
See, they are all one group, because they fought together in World War I and II.
Oh.
Majority of them, they are white people.
Okay, cultural relations.
See, who are US people? US people are the remains of this UK. From UK only, all the people went and settled there, majority.
Yeah.
Okay, so automatically they are belong to one race. There is automatically they will be together.
Okay. Okay,
yes.
sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
And Fajr.
ஹலோ சார்.
கார்வேலன் சொல்லுங்கப்பா.
சார் ஆப்ஷனல் கேட்கலாம்ல?
சொல்லுங்க. ஃப்ரீயா இருக்கேன்.
சார் நான் ஆல்மோஸ்ட் 1.5 இயர்ஸாவே ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன் சார் UPSC.
அப்படியா? ஓகே.
GS2 GS3 அந்த இதுல ஹிஸ்டரி GS1 GS2 GS3 வந்து ஆல்மோஸ்ட் 3 ரிவிஷன் முடிச்சேன் சார்.
ஓகே.
இது ஆப்ஷனல் வந்து பொலிட்டிக்கல் சயின்ஸ் தான் சார்.
ஓகே.
அது என்ன டச்சே பண்ணல, எப்படி ஆரம்பிக்குது அந்த மாதிரி எதுவுமே. இதுனா டைரக்டா படிச்சா புரிஞ்சிடும். பொலிட்டிக்கல் சயின்ஸ் போது என்னோட அந்த இது வந்து அது வந்து
பொலிட்டிக்கல் சயின்ஸ் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா 2 பேப்பர் இருக்கு, அது உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். ஒரு பேப்பர்லயே செக்ஷன் A B செக்ஷன் AB, சோ 4 செக்ஷன்ஸ் இருக்கு. பொலிட்டிக்கல் சயின்ஸ் சிலபஸ் பண்ணி சப்ஜெக்ட்ஸை விட 2/3 ஆஃப் த சிலபஸ் தான் அப்படியே வச்சிருக்காங்க. ஸோ 1/3 மட்டும் தான் ஃப்ரெஷ்ஷா படிப்பாங்க.
பாது சார் சிலபஸ். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அந்த தியரிஸ் மட்டும் தான்
தியரிஸ் மட்டும் தான் படிப்பீங்க. அந்த தியரிஸ்ல உள்ள பிரின்சிபல்ஸ்ல ஜஸ்டிஸ், ரைட்ஸ், ஈக்குவாலிட்டி, டெமோக்ரஸி, இது மாதிரி எல்லாமே இந்த மாதிரி பிரின்சிபல்ஸ்லாம் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா இட் வில் ஹெல்ப் ஃபார் த எஸ்ஏ அண்ட் எத்திக்ஸ் ஆல்சோ. ஸோ ஒரு ஜிஎஸ் ஓவர்லாப் ஆகிற ஒரு சப்ஜெக்ட்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா பொலிட்டிக்கல் சயின்ஸ் மட்டும்தான். அது கொஞ்சம் இந்த தியரிஸ்லாம் படிக்கும்போது கொஞ்சம் அந்த திங்கர்ஸ் தியரிஸ்லாம் படிக்கும்போது கொஞ்சம் ஹெல்ப் ஒரு கிளாஸ் இருந்துச்சுன்னா நல்லா இருக்கும். மிச்சதெல்லாம் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா நீங்களே படிச்சுக்கலாம் ஆக்சுவலா. ஸோ ரியலா நீங்க படிக்க போறது வந்து அந்த 1/3 தான் பொலிட்டிக்கல் சயின்ஸ் ஒன்லி அப்படின்னு. ஸோ அதுக்கு கொஞ்சம் கிளாஸ் இருந்துச்சுன்னா இதா இருக்கும். நம்ம கிளாஸ் டெமோ கிளாஸ் கொடுப்போம். அப்போ நீங்க கிளாஸ் பண்ணீங்கன்னா நம்ம பார்க்கலாம் என்னன்னு. ஆனா இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கா அது முடிச்சலாம். ஆனா அது ரொம்ப டைம் எடுக்கும். ஆனா 1/3 ஆஃப் த சிலபஸ் தான் 2/3 ஆஃப் த டோட்டல் ப்ரிப்பரேஷன் டைம் எடுத்துப்பாங்க. ஸ்லோவா படிக்கணும், நம்ம ஸ்டெப் பை ஸ்டெப்பா மூவ் பண்ணணும். ஆனா ஈஸியா ஹேண்டில் பண்ணலாம். அதாவது பொலிட்டிக்கல் சயின்ஸ்ல என்ன அட்வான்டேஜ்னா சிலபஸ் சின்னது. ஒன்ஸ் யூ அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் யூ ஆர் ரெடி ஃபார் எக்ஸாமினேஷன். அவ்வளவுதான். டக்குன்னு அதர் சப்ஜெக்ட்ஸ்லாம் நிறைய படிச்சுட்டே போகணும். ஹிஸ்டரி, ஜியாகிரபி நிறைய படிக்கணும். அதுக்கு சில அட்வான்டேஜ் இருக்கு. அது மாதிரி பொலிட்டிக்கல் சயின்ஸோட பெஸ்ட் அட்வான்டேஜ் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா 2/3 ஆஃப் த சிலபஸ். உங்களோட ஜிஎஸ் ப்ரிப்பரேஷன் டைம் பயங்கரமா கம்மியாயிடும். ஒரே இதுதான் படிக்க போறீங்க. ஐடியா ஒண்ணுதான், கேட்கறது வேற மாதிரி எழுதிட்டு போகணும். அவ்வளவுதான். கேட்கற மாதிரி எழுதிட்டு போயிட்டே இருக்கணும். சோ இத ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நீங்க எப்படி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னு கேட்டாங்கன்னா
ஓகே சார்,
நீங்க என்ன பண்ணுங்க, இந்த 11th 12th இந்த தமிழ்நாடு டெக்ஸ்ட் புக் இருக்கு பாருங்க, அதை டவுன்லோட் பண்ணி அது புதுசு
ஆமா சார்,
அதை டவுன்லோட் பண்ணி பாருங்க. அது கொஞ்சம் நல்லா இருக்குது. 11th புக்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அதை விட ட்ரை பண்ணி நம்ம 11th 12th என்சிஆர்டி புக்கை ட்ரை பண்ணிப்பாங்க. ஓகே, இதுவுமே செட் ஆகல அப்படின்னா NIOS இருக்கு, இன்ஸ்டிடியூட் ஆஃப் ஓபன் ஸ்கூலிங்ல உள்ள பொலிட்டிக்கல் சயின்ஸ் எடுத்துட்டு நீங்க அதை ஃபர்ஸ்ட் படிக்கலாம். அதான் ஈஸி. உங்களுக்கு இருக்கிறதுல பெஸ்ட் வந்து NIOSல NIOS வெப்சைட்ல இருக்குது எல்லாமே. கூகுள்ல டைப் பண்ணுங்க NIOS
பார்த்தேன் சார் நானு.
பொலிட்டிக்கல் சயின்ஸ் பாருங்க. அதுல ஜெனரலா பேசிக்ஸ் கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க. நம்ம பொலிட்டிக்கல் தியரியும் கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க, இந்தியன் கான்ஸ்டிடியூஷன். சும்மா அதெல்லாம் ரீட் பண்ணிட்டு இருங்க. நம்ம இந்த ஷார்ட் பீரியட் we will start the political science. Political science I am only going to handle. அது நல்ல கான்ஃபிடென்ட்டா சூப்பரா பாடலாம். நம்ம
சார்
அட்வான்டேஜ் சொல்லுப்பா.
சார் உங்க மெயில் ஐடி கிடைக்குமா? அத டவுட்னா
கேளுங்க. நீங்க மெயில் ஐடி வந்து SIA சங்கர SIA
டாட்
கோவிந்தராஜு. அந்த இதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா GOVINDARAJU வரும். SIA.govindaraju@gmail.com. நேம் அந்த நேம்
GOVIN@gmail.com
RADARAJU கோவிந்தராஜு DARAJU.
ஓகே
SIA@govindaraju@gmail.com. நீங்க என்னோட நம்பர் நீ நோட் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா டெலிகிராம்ல கான்டாக்ட் பண்ணுங்க. நீ மெயில் போடாம டெலிகிராம்ல கான்டாக்ட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா நான் உங்களுக்கு அந்த பேஸ் நம்பர் எல்லாம் என்ன படிக்கணும்னு நான் சொல்றேன். 80151 35359
35359. ஓகே
80151 அதுல டெலிகிராம்ல கான்டாக்ட் பண்ணுங்க. நான் உங்களுக்கு அந்த பேசிக்கா என்ன
பண்றேன். ஓகே சார், थैंक यू
சார். குட் ஆஃப்டர்நூன் சார். சார் நேத்து இந்த நம்பர் கொடுத்தீங்கல்ல சார், அது டெலிகிராம்ல இல்ல சார், அதனால தான் சார்.
எந்த நம்பர் கொடுத்தேன்?
801513539.
ஆமா, அதான் டெலிகிராம் நம்பர்.
அது நான் செக் அதான் இப்போ அதான் சார் சொன்னீங்க. அது செக் பண்ணி பார்த்தப்போ டெலிகிராம்ல இல்லையே சார், அதனால தான் சார்.
அத வச்சு தாங்க உள்ளனால ஒரே டெலிகிராம் நம்பர் தான் இருக்கு எனக்கு.
அப்படியே சார்.
80151 இன்னொரு 80151
35359
35359. நீ மறுபடியும் மெசேஜ் அனுப்பு.
ஓகே சார். அது வந்து டெலிகிராம்லயே அந்த இது காட்டலையா சார், அதனால தான் சார் இப்போ அது கேட்கலாம் அப்படின்ட்டு இது பண்ணேன்.
இல்ல அதே நம்பர் தாங்க. நீங்க என்ன விஷயமா கேட்கணும்
சார்? நீங்க அந்த இது PDF அனுப்பி விடுறேன்னு சொன்னீங்கல்ல சார், அதுக்காக கேட்கலாம்.
ஓகே ஓகே ஓகே. ஏன்னா நிறைய ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸ் அனுப்பிட்டேன் நேத்து. அந்த நம்பர் தான்.
ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே
ஓகே சார், थैंक यू சார்.
ஓகே. ராகேஷ்
சார் கேக்குதா சார்?
கேக்குதுப்பா, சொல்லுங்க. எஸ் ராகேஷ்.
சார் ஒன்றும் இல்லை சார், இப்போ பர்சனலாக ஒரு ஐடியா கேட்கலாம்னா, இந்த மாதிரி நான் வந்து ஃபைனல் இயர் பிஎஸ்சி அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் படிச்சுட்டு இருக்கேன் சார்.
சரி சரிங்க, ஓகே.
இப்போ ஃபைனல் இயர் தான். இப்போ லாஸ்ட் ஒரு 2 months பெண்டிங் இருந்துச்சு. இந்த கொரோனா வந்தனால லாக்டவுன் ஆயிடுச்சு.
ஃபைனல் இயர் இப்போ இப்போ 2020 பாஸ் அவுட் ஆகிற ஸ்டூடெண்ட். ஓகே.
ஆமாம் சார். அது இப்போ திரும்பி ஒரு ஃபைனல் செமஸ்டர் எக்ஸாம் மட்டும் இருக்கு, ஒரு 1.5
ஆமா
months.
எல்லாருக்குமே இருக்கு, எல்லாருக்கும் ஃபைனல் செமஸ்டர் இருக்கு. ஓகே.
இப்போ எப்படி சார் இன்ஸ்டியூட் இன்கேஸ் லாக்டவுன் முடிஞ்சு ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்கன்னா எப்படி சார் ரெண்டையும் மேனேஜ் பண்றது?
இங்க ரெண்டு ஃபைனல் செமஸ்டர் லாக்டவுன் சரி பண்ணாங்கன்னா உடனே பரீட்சை தான் வைப்பாங்க, வேற என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க?
இல்ல பரீட்சை வைப்பாங்க சார். இல்ல நம்ம இன்ஸ்டியூட் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்கன்னா என்ன சார் பண்றது?
எப்படி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க? நீங்க எல்லாம் வந்தா தானே ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுவீங்க. நீங்க உங்களை எல்லாம் நான் வச்சுட்டு யாரை வச்சு நடத்துறது?
இல்ல சார், நீ சந்துரு சார் வந்துட்டு இந்த மாதிரி ஆகஸ்ட் செப்டம்பர்ல
இல்லப்பா, அவர் சும்மா ஒரு ஸ்பெகுலேஷன் சொல்றாரு. அவரு அது சரியாயிடும் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு. இப்ப நீங்க எல்லா ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டுமே வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா எல்லாம் இந்த இயர் பாஸ் அவுட் தான், யாரும் எழுதி முடியல.
இல்ல சார், நான் எதுக்காக கேட்டேன்னா இப்போ மோஸ்ட்லி எல்லாருமே இன்ஜினியரிங் ஸ்டூடெண்டா தான் சார் இருப்பாங்க.
எல்லாமே அக்ரி இன்ஜினியரிங் எவ்வளவு நாள் எக்ஸாம் போஸ்ட்போன் பண்ணுவாங்க?
இல்ல சார், இன்ஜினியரிங் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு வந்து காலேஜ் முடிஞ்சிருச்சு சார் ஃபைனல் இயர்.
ஃபைனல் இயர் முடிஞ்சிருச்சா? யார் சொன்னா?
இன்ஜினியரிங்க்கு மார்ச்லயே முடிஞ்சிருச்சு சார். அக்ரி இன்ஜினியரிங் இல்ல சார், நார்மல் இன்ஜினியரிங்.
எக்ஸாம் முடியல இல்ல, எல்லாருக்குமே ஃபைனல் இயர் எக்ஸாம் பெண்டிங்ல இருக்கு.
ஓகே சார்.
எல்லாருக்குமே இருக்கு. லாக்டவுன் சரியான உடனே இதுக்கு ஏதாவது வழி பண்ணுவாங்க. அதெல்லாம் முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் வந்து இங்க கிளாஸ் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. உங்களுக்கு பண்ணாங்கன்னா உடனே குயிக்கா வச்சு முடிச்சிடுவாங்க. ஃபைனல் இயர் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் வச்சுக்க மாட்டாங்க ரொம்ப நாள்.
ஓ சரி சார், முடிச்சிருவாங்க சார். எனக்கு நான் அதெல்லாம் சரி, அதுக்குள்ள ஒன்றும் ஆரம்பிச்சிட மாட்டாங்களே அது கேட்கலாம்.
அதெல்லாம் ஆரம்பிக்க மாட்டாங்க. ஆரம்பிக்கணும்னா நீங்க ஆன்லைன்ல அக்சஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருங்க. எவ்வளவு அப்படிலாம் எப்படி ஆரம்பிப்பாங்க?
மாட்டாங்க சார். இல்ல ஒரு சேஃப்டி
இல்ல லாக்டவுன் இப்ப எப்படி தெரியுமா என்ன பிளான் பண்ணிருக்காங்க, நான் ஜெனரலா சொல்றேன். இதுதான் லாக்டவுன் டேட் கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து ஒரு இது அறிவிச்சுட்டு இனிமே லாக்டவுன் கிடையாது, நார்மலைஸ் ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா உடனே எல்லாரும் எக்ஸாம் கண்டக்ட் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சுவாங்க ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு, ஃபைனல் இயர் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு. அப்ப கிளாஸ் நடக்கிறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பே கிடையாது. ஏன்னா எல்லா ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டும் என்ரோல் பண்ண ஸ்டூடெண்ட் எல்லாருமே எக்ஸாம் எழுதிட்டு இருப்பாங்க.
ஓகே சார்.
அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் வந்து அது எக்ஸாம் முடிச்சோன்னா கிளாஸ் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. அதெல்லாம் ஒரு கன்சிடர் பண்ணி தான் வருவாங்க. சப்போஸ் வேணா ஒரு 2-3 நாள் ஏதாவது அப்படி இப்படி ப்ராப்ளம் வந்துச்சுன்னா அப்ப ஆன்லைன்ல பாத்துங்க, ஏன்னா ரெக்கார்ட் ஏதாவது அது கொடுப்பாங்க, வாங்கிக்கோங்க. அதான் இதெல்லாம் ஒரு இஷ்யூ இல்லை.
ஓகே சார். அப்புறம் இன்னொன்று சார், நான் வந்து அங்கே ஃபைனல் இயர் படிக்கும் போது சும்மா என்சிஆர்டி இதெல்லாம் படிச்சுட்டு இருந்தேன் சார். அதில் என்னதான் சாஃப்ட் காப்பி இருந்தாலுமே வந்து ஹார்ட் காப்பி இருந்தாதான், ஹார்ட் காப்பியில் படிச்சா ஒரு சாட்டிஸ்ஃபைடா இருக்கு. இப்போ புக்ஸு எல்லாமே அங்கே வச்சுட்டு வந்துட்டேன் சார். இப்போ எப்படி சார் அது முடியல, சாஃப்ட் காப்பியில் படிக்க முடியல, ஏதாவது எப்படி
என்ன பண்றது? ஒண்ணுமே பண்ண முடியாது. எல்லாருக்குமே இதே பிரச்சனை தான்.
ஓகே சார்.
புக்ஸ் கையில இருந்தாதான் தப்பிப்பீங்க. இல்லன்னா வெயிட் பண்ணி லாக்டவுன் வரைக்கும் முடியற வரைக்கும் வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க. இல்லன்னா புது புக் வாங்கினாலும் கடையில கிடைக்காது.
ஆமா சார், இங்க கரூர்ல இல்ல சார், சென்னையில மட்டும் தான். சென்னையில
நான் ஆஸ் ஆஃப் இப்போ இந்த லாக்டவுன் இப்போதைக்கு என்ன பண்ணுங்க, சும்மா அப்படி நெட்லயே வச்சு பாத்துட்டு இருங்க, வேற ஒன்றும் வழி இல்லை. அதுக்கப்புறம் புக்கை தான் நீங்க ஒண்ணுமே பண்ணுவோம். எல்லா இப்ப எக்ஸாம் எழுத போற ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டுக்கே இந்த பிரச்சனை வந்து லாக்டவுன் ஒரு வாரம் தான் நின்று போனவங்க மாட்டிக்கிட்டாங்க.
ஆமா சார், இப்ப சீனியர் ஆஸ்பிரன்ஸ் எல்லாம் அதான் சார் சொல்றாங்க.
ஆமா அதான் சொல்றாங்க. அது மாதிரி எல்லாருக்கும் உள்ள பிரச்சனை தான். இது ஒண்ணும் பண்ண முடியாது. எல்லாம் கொரோனா கணக்குல எழுதிக்க வேண்டியதான்.
கன்ஃபார்ம் நடந்துருமா சார்?
எதுவுமே யாருமே இல்லப்பா. நாளைக்கே நானே இருக்கிறேன்னு தெரியல. சென்னையில எங்க பார்த்தாலும் வீட்டை சுத்தி கொரோனா வருது.
ஆமா சார், அதான் நீங்க வீட்டுல இருந்து எடுக்கிறதே சேஃப்டி தான் சார். இன்ஸ்டிடியூட் போறோம், உங்களுக்கு வெளியில போறதும்
கரெக்ட் தான். அது என்ன நம்ம என்ன பண்றது? நம்ம இது எப்போ நிக்கும், இப்பதான் ஏதோ மருந்து இதெல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் ஏதோ கண்ட்ரோல் மைல்டு சிம்டம்ஸ் எல்லாம் பண்ணிருக்காங்க.
ஓகே சார். நான் அப்புறம் உங்க மெசேஜ் பண்றேன் சார், அந்த பிடிஎஃப் மட்டும் அனுப்புங்க.
இந்த பிடிஎஃப் ஓகே ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே சார், தேங்க் யூ சார்.
Hi sir, good afternoon.
Yes sir, yes.
Sir, இது ஜெனரல் क्वेश्चन தான் சார். யூசுவலி UPSC prelims வந்து ஜூன்ல தானே எப்பவுமே வைப்பாங்க. சோ நெக்ஸ்ட் இயர் அதே மாதிரி வைக்க சான்ஸ் இருக்கா, இல்ல இந்த லாக்டவுன்னால ஏதாச்சும் தள்ளி போறதுக்கு சான்ஸ் இருக்கா சார்?
இல்ல, இந்த இதனால நெக்ஸ்ட் இயர் ஷெட்யூல் அஃபெக்ட் ஆகாது. ஆனா கொரோனாவே இன்னும் 2-3 வருஷம் தள்ளிச்சுனா என்ன ஆகும்னு ஆண்டவனுக்கு தான் தெரியும்.
ஓகே ஓகே. சோ இப்போவே நம்ம 12 months தான் இருக்கிற மாதிரி ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிரோம்ல சார்?
நீங்க ஜூன்ல எக்ஸாம் நீங்க பாட்டு படிச்சிட்டு இருங்க.
ஓகே சார்.
பழைய எக்ஸாமுக்கும் அடுத்த வருஷம் எக்ஸாமுக்கும் எந்த பிரச்சனையுமே கிடையாது.
ஓகே சார்.
எக்ஸாம் வைக்கிறான், அதுக்கு ஒன்றும் ப்ராப்ளம், எந்த ஒரு கிளாஷ்மே ஆகாது.
அப்போ நம்ம கிளாஸ் எப்படி முடிப்போம் சார்? அந்த ஒரு ஷார்ட் பீரியட் ஆஃப் டைம்ல சிலபஸ் கவர் பண்ணிடுவோமா சார்?
ஆல் 7 days கிளாஸ் இருக்கும், எக்ஸ்ட்ரா கிளாஸ் போட்டு தான் போறோம். இப்போ நான் ஆக்சுவலா இன்னும் கிளாஸ் நடந்துட்டு இருக்கணும்.
அப்போ ஓகே.
எக்ஸ்ட்ரா கிளாஸ் ஒரு நாளைக்கு 2 கிளாஸ் சண்டே இப்படி பண்ணி தான் கவர் பண்ணணும். வேற வழியே கிடையாது. ஹெக்டிக்கா இருக்க போகுது நெக்ஸ்ட் இயர் கமிங் இயர்.
சோ இப்பவே நம்ம ஃபுல் ஃப்ளெட்ஜா ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிரணும் நாங்க.
ஆமா, அதான் நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ்ல சொன்னேன், இதான் பீஸ் டைம் உங்களுக்கு. இன்னைக்கு படிக்கலன்னா என்னைக்குமே படிக்க முடியும்.
ஓகே சார், ஓகே.
நீங்க ஃபுல் ஃப்ளெட்ஜா படிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சிருங்க.
ஓகே சார், ஓகே.
ஓகே.
ஓகே சார், थैंक यू.
NCERT எக்ஸாம் டுடே எனக்கு தெரியலமா, எனக்கு தெரியாது. சரிங்களா, சந்திர சார்ட்ட தான் தெரியும். நீங்க அந்த எதா இருந்தாலும் அவங்க அந்த என்கொயரியில கேட்டுங்க. இது எனக்கு தெரியல. தட்ஸ் இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங். ஓகே, NCERT எக்ஸாம் அதை பத்தி எனக்கு தெரியல. Student almost North African countries are Sunni Muslims and European countries are allies of US. Why can't Saudi and European ban trade with Russia? இது எப்படி இருக்குன்னா நம்ம சைனா ப்ராடக்ட்டை வாங்க கூடாதுங்கிற மாதிரி. அதெல்லாம் ஒண்ணும் பண்ண முடியாது. World is interconnected, complexly connected. Okay, so it is difficult to ban trade with you. Why Russia? Russia doesn't have any problem with Muslim countries. What is the problem? Russia is having problem only with the US. US does something means we need Russia to oppose that. Otherwise, US will do arbitrarily whatever US wants. Okay. Why US is against current Syrian government? Because Syrian government is giving that means giving full support to Russia and allows Russia to keep a naval base. That is the problem. Could you brief on the stand of Lebanon in this? See, Lebanon is a mixed populated country, and Lebanon Shias are also in power. Okay, so Lebanon is not involving in any politics, but Shias doesn't have any problem in Lebanon. Can you suggest any resource to read about fractional representation, single transferable vote? See, in that NCERT, Lakshmikant book itself, it is there. You go and check the presidential election method, or you just check how Indian president is elected. What is the method of Indian president election? Google it. Rakesh,
hello sir.
Yes, do you have any doubt?
Yes sir. Aspirants, senior aspirants-லாம் வந்துட்டு இந்த மாதிரி ஹிந்து பேப்பர் தவிர்த்து ஏதாவது ஆன்லைன் மேகசினும் ஆட் ஆனா படிங்க அந்த மாதிரி சொன்னாங்க சார். அப்படி படிக்கிற மாதிரி இருந்தா என்ன சார், எந்த ஆன்லைன் மேகசின் படிக்கணும்?
ஆன்லைன் மேகசின்லாம் வந்து சும்மா ஜெனரல் ரீடிங், அது ஃப்ரண்ட் லைன்ல வர டாப் படிக்கலாம்.
எஸ் சார்.
அது போதும், வேற ஒண்ணும் இந்திய பேப்பர்ல எல்லாமே கவர் ஆயிடும்பா. இன்னும் ஸ்பெஷல் மேகசின் ரெக்கமெண்ட் பண்ற அளவுக்கு ஒன்னும் மேகசின்
இல்ல சார். அந்த ரிப்போர்ட்ஸ், அந்த பிஐபி, நித்தி ஆயோக் அந்த மாதிரி சார்.
ஆமா, அதெல்லாம் அதுல இருக்கிறது எல்லாமே வந்து ஹிந்துலே வந்துரும்.
ஓகே சார்.
அது அந்த மாதிரி நியூஸ் உங்களுக்கு தனியா வேணும்னா நம்ம ஐஏஎஸ் பார்லிமெண்ட் நம்ம இன்ஸ்டிடியூட்டோட ஐஏஎஸ் பார்லிமெண்ட் அதுல பாருங்க, அதுல எல்லா கம்பைலேஷனும் இருக்கும். அதை நீங்க போயிட்டு சர்ச் பண்ணி பாருங்க, எல்லா கம்பைலேஷனும் அதுல இருக்கு.
ஓகே சார், தேங்க் யூ சார்.
Lagdar Brahmi வந்து this is a peace plan, a peace proposal sent by UN, but it failed. All Lagdar Brahmi is a person who was sent by United Nations to solve the problem, to mediate between government forces and the opposition forces. It failed. Very simple. You said China don't have a naval army in Mediterranean Sea, and how China is used as one of the... See, Mediterranean Sea la army இருந்தா தான் அது சூப்பர் பவர்னு சொல்லல, இருந்தா சூப்பர் பவர் கண்டிப்பா. So China in other areas it is maintaining domination. See, I never said that only when you have your naval force in Mediterranean Sea you will become a superpower. No, I said if you have your naval force in Mediterranean Sea, you can become a superpower. But it's not the only condition. One of the main condition. Okay. So China doesn't have its naval force in Mediterranean Sea, yes. But China's naval force is there in Pacific region and Indian Ocean. So that makes China a powerful country. China cannot go and dictate terms in Europe and in Atlantic Ocean, but China dictate terms in Indian Ocean and Pacific Ocean. That's why China is a powerful country. Why Venezuela supports Syria? Syria and US are enemies. Venezuela and USA are enemies. So enemies, they become friends. Still full confusion. Swati Priya. In a confusion, in a confusion. You have to ask, then only I can answer. Okay, so I think I have answered. If you have any questions, means quickly you can raise your hand. Otherwise, we will conclude the session. If anybody have any questions, just ask the question.